We are live.
Welcome to News and Nonsense at Noon-ish. I'm Auntie AK, aka a queer geography, aka the auntie of all aunties, and I'm here with...
I'm Farrah, your resident Caribbean queen.
I'm Nana, aka the Black Fairy, aka Dark and Lovely.
And you know what? You know why we're here? Because the world is actually very literally going to hell in a handbasket, and we need to help you get through all the news and nonsense of the world. We dig through all of it and give you our take on it. We're here to help you separate the wheat from the chaff, the sap from the crap, what you need to know from what you don't need to know. But before we do all of that, Nana, what do they need to do?
You guys need to put the like button on entry. Please do it now.
Oh, I felt like there was more to come. Like, please do it now. Cut off. And Farrah, what else do they need to do?
You need to sign up for our membership, please. Our membership costs £1.99 or £4.99 if you want to be a family member. And can you also like, comment, and subscribe? Can't remember what I meant to say. It's been a while.
It's been a while, but yes, that's all. And by the way, guys, you know my favorite bit. These are just our opinions. We are not experts. It's the ultimate cool Aunties WhatsApp group. If you want actual and factuals, ask TLC, Google, or phone a friend. Any links we share for you, if you do your own research, please. Thank you, please.
Yes.
I think my laptop's gonna crash. Just advance warning.
Okay.
Oh my God, was it overheating?
I don't know what it's doing.
Right, if it goes, just come back again. Roll call for today. Sora was in Brighton early. Hello, Sora. We have Rian Hampton in the house. We have Yvonne White in the house. We have Ashes to Ashes in the house. We have Sue Simmer in the house. Thank you guys for hanging on. We have Waving Cat Designs in the house. Buddy gang, Buddy, we haven't seen you in time, so I'm so glad that you're with us today. We've missed you in the house. Little Rock is in the house. C is in the house. El Cid is in the house with us as well. Yvonne is asking, did you bring back any pineapple puffs from Barbados? And Sora is also asking, how was your holidays, ladies?
Go first, Farrah.
Oh, okay.
And Sora also says our Caribbean queen has a tan. You can clearly see it.
Yes.
This is my natural color. I'm just putting that out there. I'm supposed to be this color, but England makes me grey. So
You're never grey.
You know what I mean.
No.
My holiday was lovely. It was very relaxing. You know, it was 10 girls that went away for one of our 40th. One of the younger end of the girls. It was really nice. I went to Fuerteventura. It was really, really lovely. No arguments whatsoever because we're grown folk. Yeah, it was beautiful.
Yes, and I missed my crew, so I couldn't be there because I was on a work trip in Barbados. It was a conference for Black and global Black production companies from the UK, Canada, and South Africa to meet, and we'll look at how to co-produce films and get together. So it was really good, and it was in Barbados, so nice, warm, and lovely. That's all I'll say on that. Had some fun, was with some good folks, but I missed my girls. I was watching like, they were having fun without me, but it was cool. It was a good work trip to Barbados. Can't complain. Guys, no, okay. Farrah looks good, yeah, but I'm hating because I've got a tan too, but just because I'm dark, so you lot can't.
We can see the glow. Don't act like that's your normal glow.
No one's not talking about my glow. What's about your beautiful hat?
It's because I've got white on. Like, you know.
You look
No, even the videos.
Yeah,
so Nadia J, you guys were at Chris Brown's concert. Yeah. Nadia J and her stories. Obviously, you guys are her backdrop.
I know.
From then, I was like, "Oh my God, Farrah really has a tan." Like,
her and our friend Toji both look really golden. Yeah, I'm like, no, me too. My skin's filled out.
You're glowing as Waving Cat Design says. You're glowing as well.
Thank you.
It's not fair, guys. I've just been here drunk. I didn't have a holiday. It's not fair.
Sorry, guys.
Do you know what's funny? Sorry, just while we were talking about Nadia J and her story, J got Chris Brown hat on. I've not seen it, but my sister rang me this morning. She was like, "Yeah, you went to Chris Brown. I saw you in Nadia J stories." I was like, "Oh,
yeah." You guys literally are her backdrop.
I haven't.
It's funny.
She was filming a lot. No, Bardi, I'm not. I'm joking. I'm playing. Of course, like genuinely, Farrah is beautiful. But I just like, I want my glow to be noticed.
I want that hat though. So is this merch?
Bad, isn't it? It is bad.
Really nice. I like
I
it.
love it. And I'm not a hat person like this, but I'm like,
there was a tan one that looked good too. It really blended in, but the red does stand out. It does look good.
Lovely. What was the merch prices for him?
Same as Beyonce.
Yeah.
Oh, it really was the same.
For me.
So I'm wondering if it's like a Tottenham stroke Live Nation, Live, whatever it is, Live Nation stroke Ticketmaster thing, as opposed to they're setting the prices.
Okay.
Because it was the same.
I wonder that. Because anyway, I'm just saving my coins for Kendrick. I'll get all the merch for Kendrick, as long as it's designed well as well. Because to be fair, comparatively, Beyonce's kind of designs were better than Chris's designs, I think. On the merch.
Beyonce is a whole marketing machine though, because Beyonce sponsored herself, right? So she even down to like the bags and stuff. So no, I'm just saying that in comparison, I'm not surprised that Beyonce's whole merch scenario was an elevated experience, because the thought that she's put into it is a lot different to the average person.
I mean, to be, because I think because I also didn't necessarily really like Beyonce's all the designs, because I didn't really like them because I didn't get anything, but they were better than Chris's, who I thought Chris's were, because Chris is not. I don't know, just a thought process. And even with Beyonce's professionalism, I didn't like the designs. I've seen better merch of hers before. But anyway, whatever the case is, Bardi Gang says, wait, question. I'm so surprised Chris Brown was performing at Tottenham. I didn't realize he was that big of an artist. No shade.
Really?
Chris Brown, Christopher Maurice Brown is a huge artist. And he sold it out just like Beyonce did. So the people that tried to say that Beyonce didn't sell out Tottenham, she did. I went twice. It was sold out. The people that want to come for Chris Brown and say that, oh, can he sell that out? Yes, he can. And he did. Sold out. Not a seat in the stadium. He has a huge following. Huge. He's been doing this for 20 years.
Guys, you can't talk about Beyonce or Chris Brown in front of Farrah.
Without getting a lecture, for real. Learn the lessons.
So,
you can talk about them if you want, but yeah, I'm going to lecture you.
Guys, we'll get in trouble. All right, so we've got, I've got
Ronald. I've got to come out and come back in because I don't understand what's happening with my laptop. Sorry, guys. I'll see you in a bit.
We can see you and hear you.
Yeah, I know, but it's crashed, like the screen's crashing.
Oh.
Ronald is asking, did you ladies see the Billboard top 75 R&B singers list that everybody is debating? Maybe
I haven't seen.
Chat about it later. We
can go through it, but I now know, or I now believe, that Billboard does these things to get attention. Because it's like every time they do a list, it's always ridiculous. So we can go through it later on. We can go through it later on in nonsense. Remind us a bit later. Bardi Gang, even after his scandals, do you know what? It's so. I am very on the fence with Chris Brown. I think we've spoken about it before. Excuse me. We've spoken about him with the conflict, because he's a very charming, wonderful performer. But I still have those kind of
honestly, even after all of the scandals, there are still loads of fans that will forgive Chris of anything. It doesn't matter. Yeah. Because of his talent. And he is a world-class talent. People are forgiving R. Kelly. If R. Kelly got released, he could do concerts around the world.
Absolutely.
He would sell out.
I need to get my so, he would sell out. So it's a weird one. Chris Brown, it's weird because I just think Chris Brown's his scandals always revolve around, well, now Carucci and Rihanna. So the bits in between are always kind of hard to prove, or this is what's happened. It's been more like cases drop, cases come up, cases drop. So it's a bit, they haven't all stuck to him. It's more like reputational rather than he definitively did this again and again and again and again. It's all allegations and stuff, which doesn't always make it better. But sometimes people are victim of one bad experience and it follows them. I think Chris has suffered some of that, but we also know he's got.
I think Chris has anger issues,
and
he has a rep for domestic violence and just messiness, and also maybe a bit of a sex addiction, which I have theories on with a lot of the artists as to this whole sexuality thing that they are all getting sued for as well. I don't know. I feel like some part of it may also be a part of MK Ultra, because how can everybody in the business, seemingly, allegedly, have these addictions to sex parties and having multiple women, sleeping with people's best friends, having kids? It's like,
but I
don't know.
I think I say we, the collective we, have an assumption of how celebrity world works, and we never challenge it to do differently, because we're like, that's just where it goes. Like when we say geniuses are always mad geniuses, so people who are revered icons tend to be sexual deviants, drug deviants, or weirdos, or something like that. They always have something that, and it's like, well, that comes with being a genius. So I think there's an element of, once you're in that space, we're not going to change the status quo. We're going to leave it as it is, because that's how it works. That's how you get creative genius greatness, is by letting people go mad. And there's an allowance. Like once you're walk through those doors of celebritydom, then you know that there's going to be sex. You know there's going to be drugs. And it's just something that's never challenged. So I feel like there's either, yes, there's the control, the MK Ultra side of it, or it's just there's this thing that humans think that once you go through that level of fame and success, you automatically just have access to things and no one challenges it. So
I feel like it's not true. I know a lot of artistic people, they don't seem to get to the dizzy heights, but they're pretty normal, phenomenally genius
heights. But I'm saying the dizzy heights, that's the whole point.
That's literally my theory. To get to that, in order to control you, maybe there is a level of hedonism that they impart on you, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's really a natural affliction to the person. That
no,
that's what I mean. Like there is some type of a mind control that you go into that loop and that cycle, and this is what you put out there in the world. But it just feels like, how can everybody be a sexual deviant when they're not? There are geniuses all around, literally next door neighbors who are phenomenal piano players. They just live their life and they don't have sex addictions. They're just living their life.
I think I agree with you. And I definitely think there's something that happens. Yeah, I don't think it's like you're naturally crazy. Oh, actually, okay. I'm wondering about some people, like what their thing is. Okay. Actually, no, let me think about that. Because I think, go on.
What was the question?
I was saying that I think that there is something in MK Ultra or some type of mind control that they do to these people so that they all have the same type of sexual deviancies. Like it can't be that just because you're wealthy and successful that you fall into this kind of sex addiction abuse cycle. Like I feel like there must be something that they are doing. I don't think it's just you get there and you start doing it, because most people are normal, traumatized but normal. And why is it like Fat Joe? Like why is it the same stuff?
Yeah, all the
time.
They
seem to be accused of. L.A. Reid, Russell Simmons. It's like it's the same cycle of things. I'm like, yeah, this feels like a bit of a warfare. And I'm not excusing any of them. Absolutely not excusing. I'm just like, actually, maybe we need to look at the whole cycle of it all. What's going on?
I think that in order to sustain, and not all of them do, but in order to sustain that level of fame and channeling your energy and talent, whatever you're drawing from, it's a battle to sustain it and maintain it. The grueling, if you're really like us, let's just take the performing artists, the singers and the performers, that level of strength, sustainability and all that stuff, mental ability and agility, whatever it takes to be performing maybe 10, 15 nights in a row, going around the world and drawing all that energy. I think there's only so many humans that can do this. There's only so many humans that do this. So I'm wondering, does it have to be that you're brainwashed or you have something done to you in order to do it? I mean, or it's just like, in order to do it, it's not about brainwash. It's like, yeah, you're going to probably need to take some drugs. you're probably going to need to have some sort of way of dealing with it. And the obvious, I think it's the lazy obviousness that it's sex, drugs, and rock and roll type thing, because that's the stereotype of the industry. So there's not much else that is offered in order to actually, you can be a Beyonce or a Chris Brown or a Prince, and you don't actually have to take drugs or anything. You can actually do this. I don't know if that's readily available to them in the same way or at the ease that drugs and sex and stuff is. So I don't know if it's necessarily a warfare thing, or it's just, this is the way the industry is, and this is what people succumb to, because humans are also very susceptible to taking the easy route. We take the easy route. When we've got pain, instead of going to finding some bush tea, we'll take a painkiller. Do you get what I'm saying? So I don't know. I'm not sure if it's always, I don't know. I mean, I'm a conspiracy theorist and I do believe there's stuff afoot, but sometimes it's like, what is just human nature?
I think I'm more like you. I think some of it is human nature. Some of it is put in front of them, and some of it, you find your people. There's always people, like the reason why a lot of these systems are in place is because the people that make the rules and the laws and all of those things, they're behind it, a lot of the fuckery in it. So they've obviously found their niche, their circle, their people. So I think, unfortunately, for celebrities, there's a lot of people around them who want to control them. So I'm a bit like, I think I'm a bit of both of you. I think there is definitely people around them who want to control them. But then I also think that sometimes humans are just human, and there's fuckery people in everything.
Let's get some of the comments.
So, Melissa is saying, okay, right, I'm going to start from the top, Melissa. Melissa is saying the industry is literally where criminals and cartels launder money in. You have people who are pedophiles, who are a part of the Hollywood elites. It's literally the smut of society. Yeah. With all these types, you have a pool of people who die for fame and validation, who will do anything for it. Lone Wolf says wealth, power, and dark psychology. Melissa goes on to say wealth doesn't equal pedophilia, assaulting or violating people. Lone Wolf says Machiavellian manipulation. Melissa goes on to say Scientology and organized occult organizations are the fabric of Hollywood. It's a fraternity. They are controlled by handlers and their funders. And when you go through the web, there is something to this. And I do think there is a raw talent and get seized on, and they get handled, and how they handle them is through a litany of drugs, but also a real hedonistic lifestyle. And there's a lot of victims, and the cycle goes on. It's almost like the Catholic Church. It's like a similar type of cycle of abuse. Now, the abuse comes in various different forms, and to traumatize somebody and then give them drugs, sleep deprive them, and then make them do a whole load of things. I feel like it's a dark web.
I think what they've learned over the years of how to get people, again, it's money, isn't it? The money, have you keep making money for them. That's the greed part. You have you create a system that keeps it going. And that's what I think, that's kind of what I'm saying in the well. It's like there's a formula to how you involve yourself or immerse yourself in that side of celebritydom, and that's just the default. So it's like, I guess I agree with you.
OnlyFans is a part of it. It's not a documentary so far, but somebody will do the documentary on the OnlyFans and the systems of people where they have OnlyFans managers, and there's loads of them, and they're not making as much money as they say because they have handlers who are making money, and then you have a system of women. It's basically a form of prostitution, and it's just like they've just managed to legalize it in a way. They actually have a similar thing with a lot of the big YouTubers. People come along and say, we're going to manage your YouTube channel. Now they get you into a 360 deal with your YouTube channel, and they just pay you. And it's like, in any creative circle, there are folks that will utilize your creativity and make you a slave.
Yeah, I think that's the part that's human nature. The evil that men do is human nature. Seeing as we're here, let's get the two stories, Fat Joe and Tyler Perry, as an example of two black men, because that's also the narrative, black men getting targeted.
$8 million lawsuit for allegedly coercing his ex-hype man into thousands of sexual acts. And a graphic 157-page lawsuit, Terrence T.A. Dixon accuses Fat Joe, whose legal name is Joseph Cartagena, of more than a decade of abuse. The details so disturbing that there's a big trigger warning in the red on the first page of that filing. Dixon alleges that in the lawsuit, Cartagena forced him to, quote, humiliating situations, including sex acts, performed under duress and surveillance. Dixon claims he personally witnessed Cartagena engage in sexual relations with girls as young as 15, one of whom Cartagena was allegedly in love with and contemplated leaving his wife for. An attorney for Cartagena says the lawsuit is a blatant act of retaliation. NBC's David Romo is on the story for us. And Stephen, Cartagena initially sued Dixon, and now Dixon is suing Cartagena. Both sides are trading allegations here.
Yeah, a lot of allegations here, but the lawsuit filed today has a lot more graphic content, if you will, Tom. Cartagena actually sued Dixon back in April on allegations that, as a former employee, he was trying to extort him for money. Well, Dixon's suit that was filed today is a lot more than just a typical employment dispute. The complaint does accuse Cartagena of underpaying him, but it goes on with many more allegations, claiming Cartagena would bring women to hotel rooms and make Dixon have sex with them in front of him and others. It also alleges that Cartagena would fly underage girls into the U.S. from Europe and that he paid for plastic surgery for one of them, and claimed that the minors were frequently cut off financially and discarded when they became non-compliant. Now, Cartagena's attorney claiming that those claims in this lawsuit are complete fabrications and lies, and saying, quote, the lawsuit filed by Tyrone Blackburn and Terrence Dixon is a blatant act of retaliation, a desperate attempt to deflect attention from the civil suit we filed first, of course, referencing that lawsuit originally filed back in April, Tom.
So we have another famous rapper being hit with a RICO charge, and we talked about Sean Diddy Combs' trial earlier in the newscast. He's also, of course, being accused of building a criminal empire here, and several of the people connected to this lawsuit have ties to other big cases, including Diddy's.
Yeah, a lot of the players involved have connections to these cases. Joe Tacopina representing Joe Cartagena. Of course, that's Fat Joe. He's also represented a lot of other big clients, including President Donald Trump, A$AP Rocky, and he actually turned down representing Sean Diddy Combs himself. And then we have Tyrone Blackburn there on the right, who is right now representing Dixon, but he is also representing music producer and rapper Lil Rodney in a separate case that is against Diddy. The lawsuit filed by Dixon is a civil RICO case, unlike Diddy's, which, of course, is a criminal RICO case. But there is a lot of crossover in these allegations here, Tom.
It's kind of head spinning, actually, yeah. Stephen. Thanks very much.
Mate, I don't know. All right, we're moving on to Tyler Perry's one now as well. Yeah. It's very similar.
Very.
I've never watched Fat Joe, so I don't know who his hype man is. I've never kind of followed Fat Joe properly. Was his hype man quite prominent? Like, you know, sometimes a hype man becomes a figure in themselves.
I have no idea about Fat Joe's hype man. I didn't even know his hype man was so prolific.
Yeah.
I know, but I didn't know anything about that. I don't know where this has come from. I wasn't expecting it.
No.
Tyler Perry, on the other hand, there's been long conversation about, you know, people don't believe that he's straight. So there's this. So that, and there's, I think, has he had an allegation before and it got dismissed? I can't remember. But this is the latest thing. This is a bit long, so we'll just go through some and then stop, whatever. But this is another thingy.
On one of Perry's hit shows. We want to break down this lawsuit and what it could mean for the movie mogul. We're on the case presented by Law and Crime. I'm Chris Stewart. So to start off, Dixon is suing Tyler Perry, the individual, as well as his production studio. That studio is called TPS Production Services, LLC. That stands for Tyler Perry Studios in Action, LLC. He is looking for $260 million. Dixon,
that's a wild amount.
Lead role in Perry's show called The Oval, is claiming 10 causes of action for the civil suit. Quid pro quo sexual harassment, work environment sexual harassment, workplace gender violence, violation of the Bain Act, a California law that protects against violation of someone's civil rights through force or coercion, sexual battery, sexual assault. negligent retention, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and retaliation. Let's get into this lawsuit. The complaint starts off by saying, quote, "This case arises from a sustained pattern of workplace sexual harassment, assault, and retaliation perpetrated by Tyler Perry, a powerful media mogul, against plaintiff Derek Dixon, a professional actor and screenwriter. Mr. Perry is an American actor, filmmaker, and playwright who has built one of the most successful careers in the film and television industry. Mr. Perry took his success and power and used his considerable influence in the entertainment industry to create a coercive, sexually exploitive dynamic with Mr. Dixon, initially promising him career advancement and creative opportunities, such as producing his pilot and casting him in his show, only to subject him to escalating sexual harassment, assault, and battery, and professional retaliation when Mr. Dixon did not reciprocate Mr. Perry's unwanted advances. These events occurred while Mr. Dixon was employed as a series regular on the Tyler Perry show, The Oval, while Mr. Perry held direct control over his employment, compensation, and creative opportunities. This lawsuit even compares Perry to some other infamous celebrities who have been called out for their behavior in the past. Quote, "Just like Harvey Weinstein, Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, Sean P. Diddy Combs, Kevin Spacey, Roger Ailes, and many others in the industry, Mr. Perry's success has led him to believe that money and influence can get him whatever he wants. That belief slowly transformed into the false idea that Mr. Perry can get whomever he wants." According to the lawsuit, Dixon was working as part of an event staff at a party that Perry was hosting in Atlanta when Perry noticed him and offered him the chance to audition for a part in one of his hit TV shows. Before we get back to this bombshell lawsuit involving Tyler Perry, I want to bring you a law and crime legal alert. LCDE. Dixon claims that he was invited to Perry's Georgia home where he and Perry drank together. When Perry told him he was too drunk to drive and offered him his guest bedroom, Dixon says he accepted. But then he claims that while he was asleep, Perry climbed into bed with him and tried to initiate sex. Dixon says he tried to distance himself from Perry, but he was offered a role on Perry's show, The Oval. The lawsuit then reads, Dixon did his best to tiptoe around Tyler Perry's sexual aggression while keeping on Mr. Perry's good side. Mr. Perry made it clear to Dixon that if Dixon ignored Perry or failed to engage with the sexual innuendos, Dixon's character would die in the next season. Indeed, Dixon's character Dale was shot 4 times in the chest at the end of his first season on The Oval, and Perry always held this over Dixon's head, implying that Dale would survive if Dixon kept Perry, quote, happy. According to the complaint, Perry had made it clear to Dixon that he would kill characters in order to get an actor to be loyal or obedient. During the pandemic, Dixon says Perry convinced him to stay in one of the houses that was part of Tyler Perry's studios. Quote, in or around April of 2020, and while Dixon was living in the studio homes on set, Perry often coerced Dixon to drink alcohol and then get on the phone with Perry. Perry would frequently have someone drop off alcohol at Dixon's door. Perry would eventually turn these phone calls into sexually explicit rants. Perry would get frustrated with Dixon and tell Dixon that he was not giving Perry, quote, what he needs. Dixon's refusal to succumb to Perry's sexual advances caused Perry to be ever more frustrated. Eventually, Perry warned Dixon that if Dixon told his castmates about the harassment, Dixon would be opening himself up to lots of, quote, questions and foolishness, and demanded that Dixon not discuss any of their conversations with his castmates. Dixon's lawsuit also listed out some of the sexual commentary by Perry that Dixon claimed he experienced while filming The Oval in 2020. This is what he says that Perry told him. Dixon said that Perry told him, quote, that he liked being choked. That was after Dixon's character was choked by a cast member in a scene on The Oval. Perry also allegedly said, why do you twist your hips when you walk? How can I get a day of Dixon? When will you be thick again? I love how I feel right now, but I don't like being horny. I feel sorry for the first person who flirts with me, and I've been trying to put that energy somewhere else, but everything is sexual on this stuff. The lawsuit also contained numerous text messages from Perry to Dixon, some of which seem to have been sent when Perry was intoxicated, and if Dixon didn't respond according to the complaint, Perry would hound him. Dixon also claims the harassment turned physical. Quote, on multiple occasions, Mr. Perry sexually assaulted Mr. Dixon, including one instance where he forcibly pulled off Mr. Dixon's clothing, groped his buttocks, and attempted to force himself on Dixon. Mr. Dixon told a drunken Perry no and attempted to remove Mr. Perry's hands, but Mr. Perry held tightly onto Dixon's wrists. Mr. Dixon was only able to escape after de-escalating the situation by abruptly changing the subject. The day after the assault, Mr. Perry called and texted Mr. Dixon relentlessly saying, tried you, call me, and I really need to talk to you. Please call me as soon as you can. And finally, when Mr. Dixon answered Tyler Perry's call, Mr. Perry profusely apologized for the sexual assault while blaming it on other things. Perry continued, quote, he didn't know why he would do that. Maybe he was self-sabotaging. On the very same call where he apologized for the sexual assault against Dixon, Perry told Dixon, quote, and don't worry, we're going to do your show, referring to the pilot that Perry knew Mr. Dixon had desperately wanted to produce. Shortly thereafter, Mr. Dixon got a call from Perry's lawyer saying that Christmas had come early and that Dixon was getting a substantial raise and the show was greenlit. Perry's attorney explicitly warned Dixon not to tell any other actor on the show about Dixon's raise because no other actors were getting a raise, only Dixon. Later in the lawsuit, Dixon's lawyers write, in or around April 2022, before beginning to shoot the next season of The Oval, Perry called Dixon to discuss the June 2021 sexual assault. On the phone call, Perry lectured Dixon about how Dixon was overreacting to the sexual assault because of prior sexual assaults in Dixon's life. Perry said that there was a misunderstanding and miscommunication and that Dixon needed to say no stronger. In other words, Perry blamed Dixon for the sexual assault, claiming that Perry felt that Dixon's no was really a yes because Dixon did not say no strongly enough. Dixon says he finally, quote, woke up to the fact that Perry was allegedly stringing him along about working with him on his own show to keep him around to be sexually harassed. In 2024, Dixon reported Perry's alleged conduct to the EEOC, the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. According to the lawsuit, after reporting the sexual harassment, defendants, which is Perry and his studio, did not make any investigation into the complaint and did not take any steps to prevent further harassment from occurring. Because defendants took no action to prevent further assault or harassment, Dixon had to quit his job working on the last season of The Oval. Dixon did so even though he was under contract to finish filming and stood to make close to $400,000. Dixon did not want to be sexually harassed or be placed in danger of a sexual assault again. Defendant then retaliated against Dixon. Defendant told Dixon if he quits and told the other actors why he quit, he would be in breach of his contract. Defendants told Dixon that the only way out was to portray his departure from the show as a medical leave due to the emotional distress caused by the sexual harassment. Instead, defendant made the leave of absence unpaid and therefore terminated plaintiff's employment, causing Dixon additional loss of income and insult. But Tyler Perry is fighting back. In a statement, an attorney for Perry reportedly said the allegations are a, quote, scam. The attorney went on to say, we are confident these fabricated claims of harassment will fail. The attorney, who according to TMZ is identified as Matthew Boyd, said in full, this is an individual who got close to Tyler Perry for what now appears to be nothing more than setting up a scam. But Tyler will not be shaken down. We are confident these fabricated claims of harassment will fail. Joining us now is former...
Okay, so...
Boy.
So we have two prominent black men, two more, who have had allegations, and we're talking about how this happens and why this happens continuously, routinely, forever and ever, amen, that this happens. Why does it happen? How does it happen? Is it the mysterious powers that be, the men in black behind the scenes, tweaking these people and making it so difficult for them to resist this world where you get caught up? Or is it human nature that the minute you get rich and powerful, you lose all sense of common sense and think that the world is your oyster, you can do what the hell you want? I believe there's two things afoot. I believe that there's the people that are waiting for that to happen, that know the minute this happens or how to orchestrate this to happen make it very easy for this to happen, and then they're waiting. Because I think human nature, I think humans generally, you can see people down the street that get a new suit and they're like, they think they're nicer than you. Do you know what I mean? They get a new car, they start flossing on you. And these times now they're living in a broke whatever, they floss on with a new pair of shoes and it goes to their head. So it's not like that's not human nature. So I don't know. What do you guys think of Tyler and Fat Joe?
I don't know if it is human nature to be this deprived in these ways. I don't know if that's factual at all. I think the getting one over. So let's say the Tyler Perry situation, I think is more understandable than Fat Joe to me, because I don't understand the payoff.
Sorry, Mike.
I think it might be gone. Is it me?
Yeah.
Why is it reverbing?
Yeah, you went robotic.
Keep talking and see, because if you go quiet.
Yeah, so I don't know if it is. I don't understand Fat Joe, but Tyler Perry, I understand. This is how it goes, basically, what he was doing. You've met a waiter. The waiter happens to want to be an actor, and all of a sudden, you're going to propel this man into stardom. Yeah, you're going to be able to get some shit from him. This is classic, like Harvey Weinstein. This is literally casting couch culture.
Yeah.
This has been done. So he's fallen into that. I just thought that Tyler Perry was a little bit smarter than this sloppiness. Like the text messages, if they are authenticated and they're real, he was bait. Like, this is terrible. So I understand the thing of, I have so much evidence, I'm going to go for as much money as I can get. I get that. Absolutely. Go and get your money if you can. But it's so dumb. It's like, if even 2 more people come along with a similar claim, Tyler's done for. Like, this is rookie mistake stuff. Like, are you really that horny? That's what I'm saying. You've got this far along. You're literally like one of the richest black men ever, and prolific, and your material is quite shit at that. So why would you allow your legacy to drop like this? There has to be some type of other forces. Truly, maybe humans are just stupid.
I genuinely think that once people reach a certain level of fame, they've been in it for such a long period of time. They're just used to people saying yes to whatever it is that they want. And their contact with reality is diminished so much that they think that they can get away with things. He's put this guy, if this is true, you know, and it's I mean, if you think about it, at first when you hear it, you're like, oh, this is going to be nonsense. But as you hear the case and you hear the points and all those things, you can kind of be like, this has got to be true. Yeah. He's probably not the first person that Tyler has done this to. And when these stories happen so far along someone's career, like Diddy, for example, that those cases go back decades. Yeah. You start to realize that there's been people around them that their role has been to keep this shit quiet.
Yeah.
So when you think of that, I'm kind of not surprised. And it isn't just a black thing. We know that it's not just a black thing. It's a power thing. It's these people in certain positions of power. They get so to the dizzy heights of it, and then they just forget themselves because they're just not in touch with reality. That's what I really, really believe. And unfortunately, as I said before, deviants move in cliques. They do.
They do.
I
just want to say, like, when Christian Keys came out, he's removed it all, but I'm sure people can find the videos. Christian Keys is a prominent actor. He's been in so many different things. When he said there's a billionaire mogul that has been sexually harassing him for years, everybody did say it's Tyler Perry. There are a lot of them. It's probably Tyler Perry. And he said, I'm giving them a week and I'm going to release all of the evidence I have. And then he deleted everything, and Christian went about his business, and his shows were put on Tyler Perry's network. Like, he made them all. So if this guy is basically saying a similar thing, he was quiet because he thought his pilot was going to be made. And when his pilot was shelved and he knew that it was like, I'm just being strung along, now you want to come out and talk. So there could be a whole load of people that have shows out there who are not going to talk because Tyler Perry went ahead and followed through on what he had said to them, but he did sexually assault them.
Yeah.
I think, and this is where when people start to victim blame, because like only when it suits you in some certain situations, when the going is getting tougher, then you're like, actually, I'm going to talk. And that's why victims don't always get believed, or it's like we've seen with the Diddy case, like where does your complicitness and accountability lie? That's what makes it very difficult to have clear cut, this person did this horrible thing to you, and that person gets found guilty. But
But with this guy, let's not forget, in listening to the evidence there, or the filing, the case there, he actually went to people. He went to the equivalent of the union or whatever it was in 2024. So it's not like he hasn't been trying to resolve this or to do something about it. Now it's got to the point where he's doing this case. So you know, it's not really like he's doing it for the benefit of the pound. Don't get me wrong, like 250 mil is a lot, but if you feel like you've been hard done by, and you feel like someone's fucking done some, you know, serious violations to you, you can sue them for whatever you want. Whether you get it is a different matter, but you can definitely sue them for whatever you want.
Yeah. I think it's fair. I think it's all fair dues. And at the end of the day, when you feel ready to do it, do whatever you need to do. But just going back to the human thing, I think it's hard to, because sometimes you struggle. There's a story on the doc, we get to it, when you just look at what humans can do. But I go back to our community, our local area, where how people act with nothing, just with nothing, and the way that people can act so crazy, and they've got not the levels of money. So when you do have the levels of money, I think human nature is susceptible to the easy targets of life, and they're just people in the right place at the right time. As you said, Farrah, that people with like-minded intentions gather together. You've got industry that's criminally connected, and for whatever reason they're drawn to this activity. So then they start controlling. It's all about power and control.
And people are groomed. Let's not forget that. People are definitely groomed. Like, I am not excusing Diddy by any means, way, or shape, or anything like that. But if you think about the age that he was when he came into the industry, and he was mentored by all these rich and powerful people, who the fuck
is
exactly?
Also have cases.
This is what I mean. Like, this is exactly what I mean. Like, they seek people out who they feel are like-minded, or who they can manipulate or draw something out of, and they teach them that this is what you do.
Yeah.
And then they go ahead, and that's how these vicious cycles continue.
Yeah. And if you look at from the space of working class into the upper elites and stuff like that, if you come from, look, we see it with just grooming gangs over here, not even grooming gangs, the guys that groom young boys to do county life and all that stuff. We see it on a lower scale. So even, I think the movies have kind of blinded us to the efficiency of criminal activity, the efficiency of men in power or people in power who do all these elaborate schemes and scams, and it's not till this big massive police sting before they get brought down. The average human is a dickhead, is a dumbass. So Tyler Perry also thinking that delusions of grandeur, however long he's been getting away with it, as humans always do. There's so many stories. Oh, this person got caught bringing drugs from the UK to somewhere. Why? You know, standardly you're going to get caught, but for some reason, humans get the idea in their head and think, I'm going to be the one that's going to bust case, and I'm the one who's going to do it. That is the same thing on these upper echelons. I'm going to get all these young girls. With Fat Joe, it doesn't even sound strange to me. It sounds very hip hop, unfortunately. Very, very hip hop. Bunch of young girls, if it's all true, bunch of young girls. A lot of the rappers have been caught up in this shit. Bunch of young girls, I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm flying girls here, there, and everywhere. It's what we do. It's the nature. It's the culture. Now I got caught. They
don't realize that it's true. They don't.
It's not that.
Their idea of trafficking is different, isn't it?
Yeah, it isn't that simple. It's not groupieisms. It's the level of humiliation that he was inflicting on other people. I don't think it's just the hype man. It seems to be like quite sadistic, which I didn't see Fat Joe as a sadistic person. That's why I'm like, I didn't. He would, of all the people, you know, that honestly, 50 Cent, I could hear lots about him, and I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense because of how his mind works in his trolling. Where Fat Joe, I just thought he was a family man. That's the thing with him. How he presents is, I looked after my Down syndrome son. Like,
Yeah.
you know, he presents himself a bit like DJ Khaled, like I'm a family man. Although DJ Khaled has had lots of stories precede him that he is not that guy, Fat Joe hasn't. I've not heard the story of Fat Joe being crazy at all.
I'm less surprised. Once you're in that space, these stories, and Fat Joe's also, his thing has been mafiosa. It's been cartel. It's a crime lord story. Him, Big Pun, all of that. It's just been from the Latino side. So I'm not surprised if, again, it's allegedly. I haven't, as far as I'm concerned, that is part of the cause. You've been a mafiosa boss. You're the leader of the crew that I can't remember what his crew is called, whatever. Terror Squad, that's it. You're the big man of the Terror Squad. And yeah, this is exactly because they're all living out crime mob stories. And so all that comes with, we're mimicking, we've got Scarface on the wall, as always. Fucking Don Corleone on the wall, as always.
Violence is a thing, because I did hear that Big Pun was known to
Big Pun was
very violent. Was a known domestic violence person.
Indeed.
The sex element of all of this is like, and I'm welcome it all coming out as well. Yes. However, this comes out and people are being exposed, Tyler included. I wasn't a fan of his in any way. So if his studio has to crumble and then another black person has to build their thing, I don't care. As long as they all get outed, like Cat Williams said, all of you big dick people get outed, I'm happy for it to take place. But there does seem like there's a level of really sloppy behavior.
There is.
With Tyler Perry, and hopefully more people co-sign this guy's lawsuit so that it turns into another RICO charge. But again, it's one thing this being done, but it's the accountants as well. It's the managers. It's all of those people that allow these folks to pay people, to up your pay, to hide all of their sexual. They also need to be brought to justice.
It's so easy to be part of the food chain of a criminal enterprise. Even us down at the lower, like I said, look at your local groupings, like even down to whether we want to boycott a shop for what they're doing in our home countries. We are all complicit in some, and it's hard to really extrapolate yourself from being part of anything in this world. They make it very difficult. We can go and say we're not criminals, we don't do bad stuff, but there's still things that really we wanted to.
It's different if you're working for an organization. I know
it's different. I'm just saying it's how easy it is to be part of something, and when you feel like you can't, okay, so I'm getting paid book amounts of cash from Tyler, from Diddy, from Weinstein.
They change your life.
They take your life, and then it's like
part of it, though. That's all part of it.
I can't say I would say no. I would have limits to what I would be involved in, definitely. But everybody does have a price. Now, if somebody literally comes along, sees your auntie could never, they make Chris Brown even, and they're like, look, I want to fund you guys. I'm probably going to turn a blind eye to the domestic violence stuff that I've heard about them, because you're not just changing my life. You're changing so many different people's lives. I'm going to then be helping my sisters, my brothers, my nieces and nephews, my family in Ghana. There's a chain of people whose lives you could change by changing my life, where I'm going to then have a moral high ground to they've beaten up a girlfriend or two. Maybe not. Now, if it goes to children now, okay, I don't want that karma on I'm not going to hell in that way. So then it's going to be a no. But I think they always know what your price is.
Exactly. I think that's the part why why it continuously happens. So that's why I think when people are like, okay, there's this kind of shady, then you go into this room and you drink blood and then you kill babies and that's what makes you richer. It's not necessarily that, but it's the metaphor of it all. And yes, there are people that practice the occult and certain things anyway. That's their portion. That's their way that they get through life. But generally, human nature, there's a price there. And then when you are burdened with the responsibility of making sure that everyone's okay, and if you come from a marginalized group where society doesn't look on you favorably, you're going to take that money because I can feed the village. It's like when people that do all these, they say they're going to do all these hood stories, and then when they get the money, they're going to do all the rom-coms and then stop shit.
Which never comes though. That's the annoying thing.
That's the money. That's where the money is, and then people don't like to break you out of the box that you put yourself in. It's not to make excuses for these people, because there are, as you said, people who have talent of celebrity who just mind their own business, go to work, come home, and don't shit on anyone, don't kill anybody, don't oversex anybody, don't take a minor, don't do anything. They just go and just go about their business. But what is that? But the industry makes it easy for actually the solution is here to have a drink, here, take a drug. And when you're tired at that low point, that's when it gets in. And then you're just stuck. And should we get some comments? Because there's lots of chat.
All right, okay. Ronald is saying, I wonder how the cast of Oval felt when they read about Dixon's for real. That's a lot of money. It went from, what was it, like 60, and then he jumped up to 100K for the next year. That's a lot. And I think earlier on somebody said they watch it and he was always a shit actor. There's some of his pictures. I believe it. He looks like he ain't going to be a great actor as well.
No.
Right, 22 says, yes, you were changing lives, but also how many lives are you leaving in danger by agreeing? I know.
Yeah, it's true.
And also says the problem is there is a top group of people who implemented this system long before Tyler and Diddy were born and passed this down. Those are the people we need to get rid.
This system has been going on for as long as Hollywood has been in function. Like they were giving minors drugs to keep them up while they're acting and then bring them down so they've been doing that. They've been suppressing all types of shit. If you look at Hollywood greats like Judy Garland, they drugged her up to the hilt because they wanted her to keep working. Marilyn Monroe, a whole bunch of people, like all the black famous ones that you saw as well, and they were addicted to drugs. Don't think that they didn't get addicted to drugs by the Hollywood giving them those things. It is a system of control. It's been passed down and passed down and passed down. It's just we're in an age now where shit's coming out.
Yeah. And also, again, it's back to every single industry has had a way of controlling people to make them work harder and tap into everyone's insecurities and weaknesses. Just while we're on the celebrities and prison and all that stuff, did you guys see that R. Kelly had an overdose?
I mean, it's not an overdose. Like, whatever. R. Kelly was already saying that the government were trying to kill him.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah. The
straight up overdose.
Go on, listen.
For Kelly's case, his attorney has been trying to get him released from a North Carolina prison as Kelly has claimed that his life is in danger there. Now, his attorney, Bo Brindley, filed a brief saying that prison officials recruited leaders of a white supremacist group to kill him. The court filing also claims that Kelly was given an overdose of medication that sent him to the hospital with blood clots. Kelly has since been back in solitary confinement, according to his attorney, still with these blood clots in his legs and lungs. So we are asking, is someone really trying to take his life in prison? And bringing back in our panel, I do want to read some statement that we received from the attorney for R. Kelly today, talking about this request for immediate release. They say it was denied by the judge. They were expecting that. They were going to have a hearing today, but that has been canceled. So they say they're not surprised, but they knew that technical jurisdiction would be a challenge under these circumstances. And they are going to be filing some other things in this case to try and get the conviction vacated. They have no choice but to act immediately, given the explicit evidence they say they have in terms of a threat to Robert Kelly's life. And yesterday they made an emergency visit to see him and can now confirm that this threat is ongoing and it is more serious than ever. Mr. Kelly remains again in prison with blood clots in his lungs. I mean, Joe and David, this is some really serious in terms of accusations, and we don't know what's going to happen next in this. But what are your thoughts on their approach to this and how the system will vet whether this is in fact true? David, I'll start with you.
These are extraordinary allegations. In fact, they are alleging that the prison staff conspired to kill R. Kelly and that they were recruiting inmates. And they have a declaration from the leader of the Aryan Brotherhood that says that he was approached to kill R. Kelly and that he's dying and that he wanted to oust this corruption throughout the prison. So extraordinary allegations. But you know what the remedy is for something like that? Transport. getting him to a facility that is safe. And certainly it's not a reason to be released to house arrest for someone that has been convicted in a number of jurisdictions. It's not just one, it's multiple jurisdictions of conviction with lengthy prison sentences. So certainly I could see the advocacy and bringing forth these types of accusations and request for relief to get him out. But I believe it's either solitary confinement in that facility or a transport to another facility, not released to his house.
Yeah, he's been in several facilities at this point. He's been in New York, in Chicago, in now North Carolina, where he is. Joe Tamburino, they're making that motion today to vacate his convictions in Chicago based on what they're saying is newly discovered evidence. What do you think the odds are that they will get a favorable response from a judge?
Zero. I mean, that's just not going to happen. And the situation, and I agree with David, this is just, fantastical. I've never heard anything like that the Bureau of Prisons, the Federal Bureau of Prisons is conspiring to kill an inmate. And, let's face it, I'm sure David's had a number of clients who are in prison. I have had that. Do fights go on in prison? Absolutely. And, I just have a little bit of a hard time believing that the head of the White Aryan Brotherhood of some prison would simply admit to a defense that, yes, he was part of a conspiracy to basically drug this.
You see this white man talking. You see this way that white men talk, where they're like, I just cannot believe that this would take place. Like, you don't know that this takes place every fucking day around the world.
Yes, no.
There are people in authority that will sit down and be like, okay, we're going to kill this person. We're going to get this gang person to kill them. We're going to set like this doesn't happen. You see that face that he was pulling where it's like, this is ludicrous. This man has probably paid somebody to kill somebody.
100%.
That's how they talk. They do that same. I cannot believe this is. I swear somebody would do this in front of me so that I could lose my mind and kill them and get prison as well. Like it infuriates me.
But yeah, everything you said, like the FBI have not been using people to kill people. Like they're not infiltrating countries and causing coups and all that shit. Of course they're killing people in prison. Of course they fucking are. And I actually believe the head of the area and whoever the fuck he is as well. I actually believe him because they don't care. Do you think he cares? He don't care. He's in jail anyway, and he's allegedly dying. Anyway. So he don't care. He's saying it with pride. He's saying it with pride. Yes, I'm doing their bidding. Like, and as for R. Kelly.
Let's finish this and then we'll come to it.
You person, Mr. Kelly, rather than there's an actual fight and a physical confrontation. But no, he's not going anywhere except solitary confinement. And his chances of, succeeding in court at the motion are zero.
They say they've got these statements on record. I don't know if that's an affidavit or a deposition. Probably not a deposition at this point. But do you think that's what's ahead? Do they need to get permission from the judge in order to get those statements on the record, Joe?
Well, yeah, there's different types of statements. Okay, so, and we don't know what type of statement this is. This could be that one inmate says, I heard this other person say this or that. Sure, that's a statement. It could be some type of oral statement that the person said on the phone or something like that. Could be a written statement, could be a sworn statement. The best type would be is if there was a deposition. Of course, we know there hasn't been, but if there really is going to be some type of litigation in the future, and if the Bureau of Prisons allows this white Aryan leader to be deposed, sure, let's see what he says. But until that time, there's not much to go on.
Right. So do we believe, just in this particular situation, that the leader of the white Aryan nation in this particular prison was paid or given a deal to take out R. Kelly?
Yes.
Yeah. I reckon R. Kelly, someone said it in the comments too, but I reckon R. Kelly is done with jail and he'd like to come out. So I reckon he's considering chatting. As we were just talking about, these people do not operate in silo. They don't. So, it's not in a vacuum. There are people aiding and abetting and helping him. So there's powerful people that knew what he was doing. There's powerful people that helped him. There's people that were probably doing it with him, and he's got names to spill. So maybe that's the reason now, and especially with all this Diddy shit, maybe people are like, oh, let's get rid of him before it comes to us. It's closing in on us. Let's get rid of him.
You know what? I think that's like one side that could be he's ready to talk because he's like, I didn't think I was going to be in this long. And he had another set of years added on after he had his first set. So maybe he's like, this is crazy. I thought I was only maybe going to do 10, but now I'm going to do it for the rest of my life. But also, an artist like him that is so prolific, dead makes more money. And the music business in itself is dying. They need money. So there's only so many greats that have a catalogue that is phenomenal like him, and the others are dead. So I believe if they probably wanted to kill this dude for a little while. Now, to have him take medicine in solitary, so you can't say that he's out here as a druggie buying from another cellmate. You were given medicine by staff that was enough to kill a man. It's just, I don't know if it's a demon or the god that is on his side that kept him alive long enough for him to keep on talking. That man should have been dead 2 weeks ago from the cocktail. It's literally like I was watching somebody else talk about it, a medical physician that was like, they don't even know how he did survive to get to the morning for somebody to be like, oh, he's unconscious, to take him to the hospital. It's like he should have died straight away. So folks are trying to kill him. Like, most definitely. And if he comes out, he's lucky that he makes it out. I think he's been in enough prisons to suggest people want to kill him in prison.
Me too.
In the prison network. So this guy saying it's about transport, taken to another place. What does that mean? I'm not saying he'll be safe at home either. Like, who knows? But
I definitely don't think he should go home, though. Like, as I said a little while ago, you reap what you sow. I definitely don't think he should go home. He's caused too much fucking trauma to too many people for too long for him to go home and be in home jail, like living in luxury. No, you should be in jail, but I do believe someone's trying to kill him. But you should be in jail.
We'll start chatting, innit?
I actually hadn't given it a crock of thought. And just watching this, I'm like, oh, okay. So, because I was a bit like, who cares? What do you know? Like, he's never actually, and as you're, and I can consider this thought process that you guys are thinking. He's never actually said, I'm sitting on a bad boy piece of information. He hasn't ever said, which is fine, because he might, again, that he was never going to be doing the time as he thought. So he's like, okay, now I'm going to start talking. But I don't know, because I mean, there's that, and then there's also, no, but there is something about the administrated drugs. Why are you being administrated drugs that could kill you? That's the part that's like, but to be fair, when this story broke out, I didn't look into it. So this is the first time I'm actually sitting with it. So that's why my reaction is like.
So before the overdose, he had been saying for 2 weeks prior, like his lawyer had been trying to get as much press on it as possible, saying he is being threatened, like they are trying to kill him. Then they placed him in solitary from his lawyer saying he can't be on no wings now. They are going to kill him. And so they put him into solitary. Now you're in solitary, and then the lawyer comes out and is like, it's not even just the Aryan Brotherhood. It's the prison system now. He's not safe. Then he has this drug overdose. So there is too many layers to, they come out and talk about it. And why, it just pops into my head, why he can't spill. He has family. You have friends. So if you start talking, do you not think that one of your kids ain't going to get killed?
Does he care?
I mean, he may do, because this is what they hold over you. It's not even just you. They're going to kill you, but it's also, and then we're going to kill your entire bloodline. And there's evidence of that being out there for people. Like literally, they're suing, and it's like they have said they will kill everybody I know. Like, so I don't know. Maybe he cares. Maybe I don't know. But I think that's why folks don't spill.
But that's definitely why people don't spill, because they know how. And because we've got this monster that we don't like, and we've excommunicated from our lives in some sense, we've created a persona of who R. Kelly is. I don't like him anymore. I don't fucking know him. He could actually be, aside from his actual sexual deviancy, a nice man. Do you know what I mean? Like, he could have been. Yeah, but we don't know. There are people that we know We're people that we know that I like someone, you lot might not like them, you like, and it's just personal.
I hear you, but I reject the term nice man.
No, I get it. I'm just saying
a psychopath has
nice tendencies, but I reject the term nice man.
Somebody else, but they are truly a lovely person.
I watched the Fred West documentary the other day, and he seemed like a reasonable person when they were talking to him, but he's a fucking psychopath.
Yeah, there's a persona that could be attractive to people. That's like, okay, that's the person I know. People say it. Like Camille Cosby? She was like, that's her husband. The cast of the Cosby Show took a minute to even accept the fact that this is what Cosby's
obviously about. With these people, there's things that they do in certain places. That's why lots of people don't think Diddy's okay, because there's things that you do in front of certain people.
Yes, exactly. So that's the part when I say
we know personally that are nice in our faces, horrible to another person.
Yeah.
Nice to another set.
Yeah.
Folks will show you all of their different faces all the time. You don't even know. So, this is how it goes with it. He probably was lovely. If R. Kelly was paying some of my bills and he never troubled me, I may be pissed that he's in prison because now I've lost out on money.
But also, interesting what you lot were saying about his catalogue, because I was thinking that even if it says, because sometimes it is just like, sometimes a conspiracy is just like, oh my God, this is so basic. Sometimes it's like, it is just that basic, or it's a bit like, no, it's not even that. We sometimes give too much power to things that it's not actually what it is. But if it is about his catalogue, isn't Diddy's catalogue tainted? Too tainted? Because there are a few people, but I think he's more written off. Do you think that in 10 years, 5 years time or 2 years time, if that's what they want to get, if they want to kill him because of his catalogue to make money, do you think you're going to see a Go Compare advert with I Believe I Can Fly?
Absolutely. Like in 10 years time.
I think when someone's dead and they're no longer around, it's a lot easier to forget some of the shit that they've done. These type of things. Yeah. It's like, we're not talking about like a Hitler type person. Obviously, you're never gonna like forget the atrocities that someone like that's done. But R. Kelly, in 10 years' time, if he pops his clogs, we go to places now, and they still play R. Kelly, and I side eye.
But it's not as I'm talking about business wise, because I'm thinking about look. I mean, I'm exploring whose tunes of who's like a convicted, in quotes, paedophile. Oh, he is, yeah. He's down as a convicted paedophile, sexual assault, whatever, sexual deviant, whatever the case is. And then his tunes are rebought and put back into society. Whose tunes of that nature are in society?
I don't think we've been there yet. Like I said about we're living in an age now where things are coming out, aren't we? So we haven't yet got to that end of the experience.
But enough musical deviance, we know that much.
Yeah, but then people still watch Harvey Weinstein films.
Yes,
that shit's still out there.
Wait. But I think Harvey Weinstein, because the producer who makes the film is different, because you don't even see that producer's stink isn't on it as much.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's going to be two things. So R. Kelly music, like literally, like I Believe I Can Fly. I do think that, okay, let's give it 10 years. We're not going to hear his vocals, but because if they do kill him, that will go to another person who is a superstar, and they will reimagine that. Now, talk about Hitler. The only reason why Hitler is the heathen that he is because they keep that as a narrative to feed us. Yeah. Now, if you take the guy that was doing all the shit in Belgium, his name just went out. Leopold. Yeah. His celebrity of being a genocider hasn't been celebrated to us. And we don't know his name. So it doesn't matter what he did. And that's the thing that they do. It's like, so we're not going to hear about R. Kelly anymore. If we go, they'll give it a 10-year, 15-year, and then they'll start pumping out his music again. So and there's going to be a whole generation of people that do not know anything about him. And that will be the same as Diddy. There'll be a whole generation of people that don't know anything. They don't know who Diddy was. And then they'll re-emerge their music and make money from it.
Do you need to kill R. Kelly to do that? No, I believe you don't need to kill R. Kelly to do
that. If you kill him,
one at a time.
But if you kill him, then the rights to his music becomes it's available in a different way if you kill him. And then the use of his music, because he is dead, he's not sitting in jail for the next 10 years. He's dead. So then therefore you can change the narrative. That's what I kind of think. But like I think it's manipulated all the time.
I think the story of Remix is that's standard. That's what happens. But the thread of we're gonna allegedly plot to kill this man in order to 10 years time remix his music to put on another artist. I struggle to believe.
You do know that these people don't think in the now, innit? When they're plotting their fuckery, they're not thinking about today.
No, I understand
they're plotting in decades in advance. Like it's all chess moves.
I understand that.
It's the 10 and it is the now. If he gets killed, look how we're even discussing it. And R. Kelly's lawyer has already said people are plotting to kill me. If they manage to kill him, do you know how his streaming is going to go up phenomenally? Where people are going to be like, they killed a black man. They're going to forget about all of the black women that he abused. All of that's going to go out of the window. It's going to be R. Kelly. Yeah, he did some badness. They're not even going to talk about that. He's going to be a genius. Then we're going to go back to the old talk. R. Kelly is a genius and they killed him. But people are going to be streaming and these people are going to make money. Then they're going to be able to resell.
And then
10 years time.
And then they're going to say, don't talk ill about the dead. People know that Kevin Samuels did some fuckery. But when you talk about him, people are like, oh, the man's dead. Why are you still talking about him? Oh, he's dead. He did great things. He uplifted. We know he did some fuckery. And obviously that's a different scale. But people will say, you don't talk ill about the dead. And then all of a sudden you'll go to places and they're playing R. Kelly again.
All over again. And those folks will be making money. We don't even, like, his catalogue is phenomenal. And we know he wrote so many things. There's somebody that is waiting for their windfall on the R. Kelly catalogue, and they need him out of the way. I strongly believe that is what is.
Because they're losing money at the moment as well, because no one wants to play him.
Yeah.
So how do you make that money back?
It's all an investment, isn't it? Every artist has had an investor backer. And if you think of the amount of rappers, especially that have died, death is an investment as well.
Yeah,
you know that's hype, but they're also investing in you dying soon. As well. Yeah, and bro, they want to take him out.
Okay, you compelling points. Compelling points. Compelling points. We'll
debate. I love a little debate.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. But let's get to. We did have a story that we were starting with, but which was fine.
I don't know how we went from Chris Brown concert down this road, but it happened.
Yeah.
Basically, guys, what's happening now is there's a war going on outside. No man is safe from. Big up Mobb Deep. US President Donald Trump has confirmed that American forces have launched airstrikes on Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities at Fordo, Natanz, and Isfahan, calling the mission a spectacular military success. Because
when did we stop saying you bombed somewhere and it turned into a strike? When did the language change? I don't understand.
Right?
He just bombed Iran, but then everywhere it's saying there was airstrikes. You bombed Iran.
Right. But then when Iran bombed back in retaliation, Israel, what did they say? They bombed them. They bombed an innocent hospital. They bombed an innocent this. They bombed children. They bombed. Oh my God, Netanyahu! They bombed children. Oh, boo, boo, hoo! How dare you stand in front of a hospital and say that it's a war crime? How fucking dare you? How absolutely dare you?
Basically, so they don't do that. So how it all started, Israel decided to Netanyahu decided to, do you know what? These guys are a threat. I mean, they've always threatening.
The thing is, he's been saying it for 25 years.
Saying that Iran's been a threat, a nuclear threat. And it's also Western colonial bias that the five, the big powers that be have decided which countries are allowed to have nuclear weaponry and which countries aren't. Already it's racism and fucking power, greed, whatever disproportionate stuff afoot. And they decided that Iran, you're not allowed to have nuclear weapons. You can have nuclear stuff to fuel your electricity and shit like that, but you cannot make nuclear weapons. So But for some reason, they've always said that somehow Iran's in a tunnel somewhere making nuclear weapons. And to be fair, as much as I don't want the world to be having nuclear wars, who the fuck are you lot to tell anybody? You yourself, Russia, China, UK, America, what's the other one?
Israel.
India and Pakistan have got nuclear weapons.
Those are the two kind of like anomalies. But the big five major players, for some reason, decided they're allowed. We're allowed. You guys aren't. Who the fuck
Do you know what? Do you know what? Mainly, this is why it irks me so very much. America has more nuclear weapons than any other country in the world, right? America is the only country in the world who've bombed people with these nuclear weapons, not once, but twice. Okay? America are the ones who, since World War II, have bombed over 25 countries. Right. Over 25 countries. America has done that. No other country has done that. Yet Iran have won none. And I'm not sitting here saying that Iran are great and it's wonderful and all these things. But let's not forget, in 1953, I think it was, America bombed Iran, or they overthrew, or they were part of the overthrowing of the last government that were there because they didn't like it and it didn't suit them, their benefits. And then this is how this new regime came into place. Because once again, America interjected. And now what's happened is they have this regime and they're saying, oh, we're here to save the people, and Iran can't possibly have bombs, even though they're the only ones that have used it. Iran were actually negotiating with the nuclear, what they called, I think, is it the NT, I can't remember what it's called, but they were basically in negotiation saying, come and have a look at all our shit. We're opening the doors, you can come and have a look at all our shit. Like Iraq were doing. Their lead negotiator was killed days before he was supposed to meet with America. He was killed, the lead negotiator in the nuclear weapons. Yeah, Iran have been saying, come and have a look. Israel, on the other hand, nobody fucking knows anything about Israel. Israel have got nuclear weapons. Israel have not signed a contract to say that we are joining part of this thing. Israel are not allowing people in to see anything, but they are the ones that are scared. The people who have been bombing Israel in the last fucking 2 years have bombed at least 4 or 5 countries. Yes. But we should be scared of you. And they're calling it, we should be scared of Iran. They're calling it a preemptive attack. Yes. So they did it because they were preempting. It's illegal. And the thing about America joining in now, Donald Trump should be impeached because Donald Trump did it without the authorization from Congress. He decided that he was going to go and do this, despite members of his parliament or his Congress saying the other day that they're not going to do it. He decided that he was going to do it. He pushed the button. That is, you're not supposed to, as a president, go and do that. There's a whole reason why you keep crying democracy, but you fucked off with democracy and you went ahead and you did it, and you're out there bragging. And then we have King fucking Starmer coming out and saying,
running through the whole story,
saying. Because I'm just incensed. Keir Starmer's coming out and basically saying, oh, Iran shouldn't escalate things, and it's a great thing. We don't want Iran to have. Why can't they have weapons but you can, bruv? Let's think about it logically. If I'm someone and you keep slapping me in the face, I'm going to learn self-defense. I'm going to learn self-defense. If there was a bully who comes into the playground every fucking day and beats up 25 people plus, you're going to learn to defend yourself. But no, you can't. The bully is running right. I'm pissed off.
I have a question off of the back of all of that, and I agree with everything you've said. That is exactly what has taken place. While I was on the toilet today, I was thinking of news and nonsense, what we're going to actually get into when we're talking about Trump and Iran. And I was like, okay, we live in the West. We live here. We have nuclear weapons to defend us. Is it in our interest for the bullies to go around and bully people that you can't have the same weapons as us? Because we are here. Is it in our interest that they do this? I was really doing a thought experiment because it's easy to attack Trump for what he's doing. But if they really are like, okay, we're losing all of our power, which they are, and these guys could take over. And in the same way that America and the UK has gone around and bombed places, and in effect, nobody has bombed us over here, do we really want that to change? That we now become, in effect, an Iran? That somebody else has the capability to be like, hey, the UK, fuck you, and the US, fuck you. You guys can't have this. And then they bomb us because we are the people on the ground who are probably going to be hurt. Is there a world where we actually do want these guys to continue being the superpowers so that we are safe in our homes?
Do you know what? I don't think that is. I understand where you're going with that, but I really don't think that is a fair way to live as a human being on this planet that we are at. Because at the end of the day, you have got these superpowers going around doing whatever the fuck that they want to do. And even in their home countries, democracy is a myth, right? We know that. Trump is clapping people off the street and putting them in jails and deporting them, even if they're legal. He's doing that. He's taking away women's rights. He's doing that. So a lot of the things that Whoopi Goldberg was, if anyone saw the clip of Whoopi Goldberg on The View talking to her co-host about the difference between Iran and how black people have to live in America, it's not, democracy is a fucking myth. So I think the idea that it's all right as long as it's not us, that's how we've got into these places before. Like, it's all right, but it's not us. It's how, like, a lot of, the wars around, the major wars around the world happened until it was them and they got involved. There's going to be somebody somewhere that is thinking, if the bully is going to keep bullying someone, we have to defend ourselves, and they will strike as well. They will. I just don't think. I think
that again, I see where you're coming from, and it is, we want to be as safe as we are. Everyone in their own little bubble wants to be as safe as they can and not be attacked and not be at the risk of attack. However, if you're constantly bullying and instigating, we're at risk of attack anyway. So this kind of let's ensure, because there's no, in the ideal world, we don't want to be on the receiving end of anyone's kind of dick swinging contest, which is what the men in power do constantly. We don't want to be at the mercy of that, but we are at the mercy of that regardless, because every time in the West, we have a political leader who wants to show their balls and wants to distract from what they're doing on the home soil. Because what Trump is experiencing at home is a fuckery. What he's doing with the ICE raids, what he's doing with all the bills that he's introducing, with his fucking bromance, stupid on and off bromance with Musk and all the rich players, all the stuff that he's doing that's fucking up his presidency that no one, the normal didn't want. It's all a distraction. So he's trying to show his balls and say how powerful he is. We're at the mercy of these rich men anyway, these rich white men anyway. So no, we benefit kind of, but we don't benefit. We don't. We got Keir Starmer, who's supposed to be a man for the people, who's shown his right-wing white ass in abundance. And we're being dragged down his fucking whatever whimsical whims of what he wants to do. I don't even know where he stands at this point. So no, we're not at an advantage being in the West. We have a little bit of like hiding behind the Wizard of Oz type thing, but we're not at any benefit. We're not. I don't think it's hard to say we want Trump to go on and go forth and enact this, because actually, what is his actual intel on what he's doing? What is his motivation for doing this, aside from Israel decided to do something, so kissing Israel's ass, and whatever that allegiance, I'd love to see the freaking videotape, the contract, the document that explains why these two countries are so entangled in each other.
Listen,
whatever that is, that's what I don't understand. So we're not benefiting, and we're not
Donald Trump
safe.
Donald Trump tweeted whilst Obama was in presidency that Obama is he's going to start a war because he doesn't know how to negotiate with Iran. Donald Trump tweeted that. Look what he's gone and done himself. Yeah. The fact that I think people need to be very scared, just because he is the leader of the Western inverted commas free world, he is not acting like it is a democratic country. He's gone and he's done this on his own without permission from Congress. Now, that is not something that you do as a democracy. Tony Blair basically convinced a bunch of fucking people, along with America, to go and invade Iraq. He's now coming out and begging for forgiveness and saying, oh, I'm really sorry. Here's something that I'll have to live with forever. Keir Starmer is out here basically doing a Tony Blair. He's out here doing the same shit. You cannot. How can we respect let's break it down. How can we respect international law? How can we expect anybody to comply with international law if the leaders of the free world do not comply with it themselves? You cannot expect someone to behave themselves when all you do is fucking do your own thing. All you do is whatever you want because you want to be in power. That's what they're displaying. But it is like the Wizard of Oz, because they're standing behind this curtain and they're acting like they're acting like it's not. They are basically presenting an image that is not true. That is what they're doing because they want to remain in power. They are basically saying it's not us, it's them. But they are doing the bombing. Yeah. They are doing the bullying. They are doing the colonization. They are doing the rape and pillaging of countries. They are the ones doing that, but it's gaslighting, like somebody said. But they're presenting like, no, we are here to save you. The fact that Keir Starmer came out and said that and actually that stupid clown Netanyahu as well said, oh, Donald Trump is braver than anybody else because he's come out and done this. And Keir Starmer's, we absolutely cannot let Iran have nuclear weapons while you have nuclear weapons, bruv.
It doesn't, and it's everything. It is, I have a mission that I've been on since we started this, is the illumination that we have to leave this place. Like we have to go. And if we choose to stay here in the West, in all of our factions, whether you're an African American, a Black American, the FBA, or you're a Black Brit, or you're in France and you are like, it doesn't matter, or Germany, and you've decided, however your family came to get here, and happy Windrush Day, that we are going to stay here. With what's going on in the world and what they are beginning to do, which does seem like it is a World War III pending, they may start bombing Israel, but after a while, do they not? They will come over to us and bomb. And we are here. And so it is like, if we want to stay here, then you want your powers to fight them first. No, is that not how?
No, I think what you're saying makes sense. But when it's what you're saying makes sense, but we know what they're doing is wrong. So I cannot say yes, I want the West to win in this instance, because I don't. What they're doing is shit. I'm not. Yeah. I'm also.
So then that's the question I'm asking. So then, do we want the fall to happen? Because there's the polls are there. I think fighting because they want to survive. They want to stay the top dog where they can bomb who they want so that they don't have a threat. So they aren't Iran. That is basically what America is doing. They don't want to be the Iran. They don't want Iran or China to get enough power where they are able to fly over and come into their airspace and be able to bomb like they have been able to do that way. So it's one thing to be against it, but it's also like, well, where that leads is a switch of power where then us in our homes become vulnerable. Yes. This is a sports exercise, guys. I really think that we all need to, it's one thing to be opposed to something, but truly sit in the energy of, okay, so the opposition is, these guys could get a foothold now. Do we want the power to truly change so that they are the next power? Because it's either we're dealing in polls, it's either one or the other. They come over and bomb here, or we go over and bomb there. This is where we are now, because the world isn't being reimagined where nobody is fighting. It's either Iran has nuclear powers, China has nuclear powers, and they bomb this way.
Well, I think what you're saying is that it's the motivation to then you, as an individual, you figure out what you want to do. Because again, we say people say move to Africa, move to Caribbean, move back to where your people are. But even in our countries, not one African country, as far as I understand, has nuclear weapons. Not one Caribbean country has nuclear weapons, has the resources to arm themselves because they would also come to us and use us. So wherever even if it's talking about let's go back home, I know, let me speak for myself, I'm not built to live in the bush of Ghana. I know if I was built to live in the bush of Ghana, I can live in the bush and I can hide and I can go underground, know which animals, which berries to avoid, which berries to cook, what's not going to poison me, what animal's not going to bite me and kill me with my Western fucking infected blood. How am I going to survive in the bush of Ghana, which is where I'd need to go? Because if I live in Accra, Kumasi, in the main towns, that is where the American bases and Western bases are. So we're not free anywhere at this point on this earth. It's 100% safe anywhere, because even our black leaders in our black countries are susceptible. If the odds are stacked against them when it's like nuclear war, they're going to have to find an allegiance. And then they will usually come for the lower ranking countries first before they go and bomb the actual. So we're not safe anywhere. So I think this contention, what we're doing, debating and thinking about, if we lose, if we're us in the West, in quotes, we lose, then that's the motivation to figure out what's the next steps. But until we see it, because you can plan, because everyone's planning with at this moment in time. I'm trying to make money. I don't have enough money to relocate anywhere. So what I need to do is make money before shit. So that's so there's only so much you can do, and you can talk and share information. This is why news nonsense exists. Have the information and plant seeds like what it is. How do we do this? But we're not safe anywhere at this point in time. I don't know. There is a utopia somewhere, but where? I don't know. I haven't been told. I think it's Atlantis. But how do I get there without crushing my body?
Yeah, I
don't know. I have no answers. I literally am watching the news like everybody else.
I was just sharing that these anonymous guys, I wish anonymous were like more powerful, because they tell us shit and they don't tell us nothing. But did you see the warning for anonymous?
What did they say?
They're saying something's coming.
Hello, my fellow citizens of the world. This is the Architect, speaking on behalf of Anonymous. 34 days remain until the truth is revealed. There's a feeling many of you can't quite describe, but you know it's there. A pressure, a discomfort, a quiet, constant hum beneath the surface. That feeling is truth trying to wake you up. You're not alone in it. You're not the only one who feels like something has gone terribly wrong, and like no one in power cares to fix it. That feeling is collective, and it's growing. It doesn't matter who you voted for, where you worship, or what you look like. That ache for change is the thread that connects us all. We are not asking if people will stand with us. We know they will. The only question is who stands first. Because the moment a few do, many will. More than you think. More than you can even imagine. And when that happens, the illusion of division will shatter. And you will realize what they never wanted you to see. We were never actually divided. We were just told to be. They fed us hate. They turned neighbor against neighbor. They sold us the lie. The difference is danger, and dissent is disloyalty. But we're waking up, and here's the truth. We all know that genocide, especially against innocent men, women, and children in 4K, is evil. We all know that corruption is wrong. That poisoning our food and water is wrong. That teaching us to hate each other is wrong. We all know. And now it's time to stand on that shared knowing. Let this be the space where that starts. A space where unity isn't just spoken, it's shown. Lift each other up. In the comments. In conversation. Encourage. Whether you voted for Biden or Trump. Whether you lean left, right, or neither. Whether you're gay, straight, black, white, or anything in between, you're welcome here. Because this isn't about left or right. It's about right or wrong. And we all want the same thing. A better future. A safer one. A free one. That's why they divided us. Because united.
About political corruption.
I think it's the wrong video. This is the
because
he basically said in 38 days there's something's coming, and we're going to see. Oh, I must have picked the wrong clip. Something's coming. Oh, this is about Anonymous. My bad, guys. Something is coming.
As she said, the auntie of all aunties.
That's what I'm saying. Sorry, because I didn't watch it. Bro, I'm busy, man. This is the one I saw.
No, that's what you played.
But
defeated. But the truth is, we outnumber them 1,000,000-1. All it takes is unity.
Same thing.
All it takes is belief.
Because there was a clip that I think it's longer. There's a clip where he literally says like something's coming. You're going to know when it comes. It's like in a couple of weeks or a couple of months. And again, it's that vague thing where they're implying that something big is going to happen. And I thought actually with this Trump bombing, that was the thing, because they said in the next couple of weeks or days or months, something's going to happen and it's going to set the course of change. for what's the next big thing that's going to happen. So kind of like, you know, like 9/11 and stuff like that. But that's what, and Anonymous is like, I wish they were like a film, like more effective, but maybe they are. I don't know, because I'm not part of the crew. I don't know how much to believe in them and all that stuff. But it's like those people that always have the whistleblowers that said, got all this information, but we never really get the information.
I swear Anonymous ain't done shit. I think it's been people, like, you know, there are named folks out there. I remember there's the internet guy that was fighting for them to not be able to control the internet for so long.
There
people that do it, but I feel like Anonymous was hopeful when they first came around. What was that, like 90s? And it was like, there's a group, and they have done what has Anonymous told us?
I'll do nothing
other than introduced us to that mask. Like,
yeah,
exactly. Melissa said Anonymous equals some fake group. They ain't done shit. If you're gonna tell us the things, tell us the things like what's his name, Julian Assange. Like, do something truly. Like, let us see things. But I don't think Anonymous has done that, other than, you know.
The only thing that, like I said, the clip that I saw was literally like, something big is coming. Trump has done this. Maybe it's stating the obvious, or just underpinning.
I think again, we should be worried about the people who are leading the countries that we sit in, because for far too long they've been able to get away with whatever they want. We've been here before. We've seen this. You know, if you remember the Iraq War, we saw this. It's exactly the same thing. There's weapons of mass destruction, and there were no weapons of mass destruction. It was all a lie. It's the same. And let's not forget, whilst this is going on, whilst all this fucking dick swinging is going on, this illegal dick swinging is going on, they're still massacring people in Gaza.
Yeah,
they are still massacring people over there. People are trying to get food, and they're being sniped.
Yeah,
as they're trying to get food.
Nothing hasn't particularly changed in any way. But at that moment in time, remember who was an ally? It was Iran. It wasn't too long ago. It's in my living memory when Iran was the great hope for the Middle East. It wasn't that long ago. So and then for my sister, who was 10 years older than me, in her living memory, it was Iraq. Was the ally in the Middle East. So we go round at this moment in time. It's Saudi Arabia. It won't be long before Saudi Arabia is now the ones that they are trying to get rid of. Like, they go through the cycle, and because they keep on doing this, we know that obviously they all band together. China has so much wealth. They can be like, look, they are going to be the superpower. I kind of feel like that's the only safe place to go. Honestly, I don't know which group I need to insert myself in. I can have these conversations with people. Where is it that we are going to go to run to? Like, where are we hedging our bets? I want it to be that I can go to either a Caribbean country or an African country, but they're too entrenched with the Americas and the UK because of colonialism. So I feel like maybe it is China. I have family in China. So I don't know, maybe I just need to go and join them.
But the thing is, we are at the mercy of rich, crazy men. And it is rich.
Yeah, but you know what I will say? Do you know what I will say? It's these Europeans that keep fucking about. It's the Europeans. I'm not saying that these other countries haven't got their problems. They do have their problems. But you don't see China just dropping bombs casually on 25 countries. You don't. Yeah, obviously not yet. But I'm saying not yet, but obviously I'm saying they haven't done it. So we're not safe here. We're just not fucking safe here. We're at the will of these crazy white people. We really
pay bills, eat and drink. That's literally
like,
all I'm trying to do.
There's a solution. I've got a solution. Here we go. There's a solution. The world's favorite philanthropist, Billionaire, is saying that he is going to share his wealth.
This guy.
Yes, guy.
Sat down with Bill Gates for an exclusive interview.
Oh, not him.
This is not who I thought. I thought he was talking about the Spaminator.
Of his money. And he says his charitable Gates Foundation will undergo a major change that will result in shutting down by 2045. His organization, of course, is devoted to fighting poverty, disease, and inequity, and is now, as a result of today's announcement, doubling its spending on those causes to $200 billion over the next 20 years. We had to begin with the question you may be asking. Why now?
By deciding to spend all this money in the next 20 years, we can get a lot more done.
The original plan for the Gates Foundation, established and funded by Bill and Melinda Gates and backed by additional billions from Warren Buffett, was to keep the doors open and the dollars flowing for 2 decades after Bill's death. Instead, as of today's announcement, the plan is to give away virtually all of my wealth, Bill writes, over the next 20 years. And if you couldn't guess, we're talking about a lot of wealth.
I'm super excited that that'll be over 200 billion that we'll give away during that time period, and that we'll be able to save tens of millions of lives.
And you're not going to miss it.
No, I won't. I hope I'm still alive when finish the 20 years, but I'll save a little bit to be able to buy hamburgers as much as I need.
The $100 billion the foundation has already spent since 2000 has helped cut the rate of death among children under 5 in half.
This is a Philips ultrasound.
Thanks in part to its investments in new technologies, like the ones he showed us at his offices in Palm Desert, California.
What are you proudest of?
Well, the work in vaccines would be the top of the list, because at the turn of the century, kids weren't getting vaccines for diarrhea and pneumonia, and that's now saved millions and millions of lives. So it's a simple little vial like this one.
Portable coolers and go-anywhere drones help deliver those vials where they're needed. But Gates now worries fewer people will be getting them, not because of the distances, but because of the governments involved.
It looks like we'll be able to raise less money now than we did in the past, because the US at least is tentatively not supporting buying those vaccines, and other countries in Europe that have always been substantially more generous are also cutting back.
It sounds like in part you're doing this because you're looking at the world and you're looking at this country and they're doing less. So the Gates Foundation and other foundations need to do more.
Well, you always want more money going into these things where you're saving lives for a few $1,000s. And I'll be an advocate that when President Bush created a lot of these programs for HIV, malaria, and some other things, that should be maintained.
What's it been like working with the Trump administration? I know you recently had dinner with the president. Did anything come out of that?
Yeah, so I talked to him about work on HIV and the great innovations. And so, it was a great discussion. Since then, some of the programs have been cut off. And I'm hoping both with the president or the Congress to get them to restore some of those aid activities.
If they don't, is the Gates Foundation large enough to take the place of what the government had been doing?
No. So their money for global health was 4 times what the Gates Foundation.
So if this money goes away, and you were talking about millions of lives saved, can you put a number on the lives potentially lost?
Yeah, absolutely. So we should be going from 5 million children dying a year over the next 5 years to 4 million. And now with these cuts, if they're not reversed, we'll go to over 6 million dying. So instead of going down, we'll go back up.
Wow. So it's a difference of 2 million lives.
Absolutely.
Besides giving it all away, Gates is marking a series of major personal milestones. His foundation is turning 25. The company he founded, Microsoft, is turning 50. And Bill Gates, the man, no longer the child prodigy, is turning 70.
He looks the same.
What are you doing to celebrate?
When my birthday comes in late October, I'll, gather hundreds of my friends, and, maybe they'll roast me, or we'll just, stay up late.
For Bill Gates, there's no such thing as traditional retirement. But today's announcement, he admits, almost certainly marks the beginning of the last chapter of his career.
Just typing those words, last chapter. What's that feel like?
No one gives a fuck, but
Just don't trust him. Yeah, Quayle. Yeah.
There was another discussion about philanthropy and the evolution of it from this guy. But first thoughts on Trump, Gates giving away his money. Actually, let me stop the screen so you can see each other properly. Sharing his money, giving away his wealth in order to end world hunger. And I found an article that said,
sometimes when people have done fuckery in their life, right? It's a Christian thing that before you die, you repent and you're absolved of your sins, right? It's giving me them vibes.
Yeah.
It's giving me them vibes.
Yeah.
Because you could have, go on.
Trying to repent. He's actually trying to, in some way, repent or ramp up, because if you go through, and this is the spin of what we just witnessed there, that was just a fluff piece, absolutely like up and down. He isn't talking about all of the, you're talking about the millions of folks that are still here because of you. We don't know this to be true. Telling these figures. What is out there is the families that have been affected profoundly by these vaccines that women were queuing up for, who are now sterile, had disabled children, all of that, how you destroyed infrastructure that was already there when Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation would come into a village. That's documented. So, yeah, you've given away all of this money, but you're not giving it away. You're still doing activities. You've been spending money on these activities all the time. So what's the difference?
Yeah.
Giving away money, to me, is every person in this region is going to get 100K coming. That's giving away my money.
That's what you should do.
What you've been doing, your activities, you've been doing that shit. So there's no difference. You're doing the same shit. You need to get out of Africa is what you need to do. Honestly.
I just hate the image of him as well, like actually giving the vaccine to a child. I actually hate that image. Yeah.
No, you don't. You're not needed. Get out. There have been people dwelling on this earth for 30,000 years without a flipping gates around them, and we survived. Piss off. Go and do your shit elsewhere. Like, why is it you're always in the same place? Go somewhere else. You're an American, no? Like, do your works there.
And shit on your own doorstep.
I have to say, allegedly, that at the moment, there's not actual alleged validated evidence that Gates has sterilized women in Africa. It's a story that it's not documented. They haven't been convicted.
But it wouldn't be.
No, I know that, but we have to say allegedly. We have to.
But like someone said in the chat, a lot of these vaccines you don't know what it's going to do for 10 years.
I don't know exactly. I say it with my chest. Get the fuck out of Africa all the time. Get out. We don't need white philanthropists, billionaires who can solve the problem tomorrow. Why 50 years? Why are you waiting for what? 20,
it's like literally
tomorrow
with your billions. Yeah, go and do something elsewhere, or just deposit the money around the place.
That part. You don't need to have this grand gesture of 20 years. I'm going to do it in 20. No, and make a joke about a hamburger, because don't be stupid. We don't need that. No, we don't need that. Just put the money where your mouth is. Literally, as you said, everyone's got a bank account. I can just go through. Do America first. Make America great again for real.
Yeah.
Give
your money back.
Give your money to them. That's all. That's evidence of a billionaire putting the money where their mouth is and trying to affect change. Take the billions or the millions of people, the hundreds of thousands of Americans that are in poverty, who are struggling to work, who are not getting workers' rights, who are getting all these kind of injustices, the bills and all the stuff against them. Give them some money to live. Create thousandaires if you're really about it.
That part.
What? Come on, man. All this.
Listen, dude's going. I say this. Dude's going to hell. Sue me. You're not going to get anything. Peanuts. You're going to hell. However you try and put this out there, I don't think there is anybody that can amass billions where you haven't exploited thousands of humans to get there. It's just how it goes in order for you to amass all of that. So there's no repentance in that. You're probably going to hell if there is one. Like, so we don't need Bill Gates sitting there. Bill Gates has looked 100 from since he was 20. That picture where they said a young man, he literally looks like he's 100 years old.
Yeah, his hair's just a little shorter and grayer.
Like they're literally a gargoyle. Like, you are a demon. And you stole the business from your brethren as well. Like, you're not even that, you're just a horrible man.
That's what they all do. All these billionaires, the idea isn't theirs. They haven't actually owned the fucking idea. They've just been around somebody else and been able to be like, oh, I can take that.
It's all succession. It's all on. We've got it documented. This discussion, I haven't watched all of it, but no, I don't know where it's going to go. I can't remember where it's going to go. But let's just get into it, and then we might stop it. If it's
could we not commit? Oh, we're still on Bill Gates. Okay.
What would you want to go to? We can stop.
I definitely want to do the sperminator, because even someone in the chat was talking about it.
Oh, the other billionaire.
The other billionaire.
I had him as an enemy for the
Oh, did you? Okay, sorry.
I mean, no, it's not.
We can do it twice. He can still get a gun in. He can get gunned twice.
Hold on, let me go to him then, because Telegram billionaire said he's going to leave his millions, but he's got conditions.
Well, you know what the thing is? So I think maybe we covered this sperm story on News and Nonsense before.
We did.
These white men that are going around and impregnating people all over the place.
We did.
I didn't know that the Telegram man was a part of that as well. Like, this is...
I didn't know that either.
And so that he's so prolific, he's managed to get to... what is it, 106?
106. Six are with women.
Children.
6 are with women that he's actually slept with. And 100 are from 12 different countries where he's donated.
So he's just...
That's dangerous.
It's supposed to be illegal anyway that you are...
Illegal.
I didn't even know about it, but...
He's out here doing it, and this is growing as a thing that white men are doing, and it definitely does seem to be in white spaces that they are trying to spread their seed far and wide to populate the earth in some way.
Wait. Sorry. I'm going to come back to Ruth. Ruth, you're just a troublemaker. I swear to God. Ruth says Trump gave Iran multiple times to come and negotiate, and they ignored him. It is what it is. Team Trump. Ruth, you cannot be serious, but okay, fair enough. So yeah, we had him on the dock. I swear, because he was on the horse, not the Putin. I swear we talked about him already, but I've had this guy on the dock before. So this is what he's up to. He's now saying this.
The co-founder of Telegram is pledging to leave his fortune to his 106 children. Pavel Durov told The Point in a June 19th interview. He is the father to 106 kids, 6 through natural conception and 100 plus spread across 12 countries through sperm donation. The billionaire co-founded the messaging app Telegram, and as a result, he is estimated to be worth around $17.1 billion, according to Forbes magazine. Paul tells Le Point his kids will not have access to their inheritances after his death until 30 years from the day he gave the interview to Le Point, or June 19, 2055, adding, "I want them to live like normal people, to build themselves up alone, to learn to trust themselves, to be able to create, not to be dependent on a bank account." And is clear on his thoughts regarding his sperm donations, saying, "I want to specify that I make no difference between my children. There are those who were conceived naturally, and those who come from my sperm donations. They are all my children and will all have the same rights."
These people are sick. These people are so sick. They're so sick. He just even looks like he's got issues. Like, yes, I'm going to conquer and I'm going to spread my seed. He looks like he's trying to make a cult. It's insane.
It's the cultness of it all. And I wonder if any of them have color, if they're all white children. I'd love to know that.
They usually spread it along the line, other than that.
Jonathan Meja.
He actually wanted blonde and blue-eyed children.
Jonathan Meja.
These people, they do spread it along. They don't care, and especially even in the countries, because Kenya has become a target for them. Too. But I think in a way it's a bit like creating like a coloured society as well. Like, I think they border on those lines. So they want to, there's the fractions that are like, we want to have lighter people, and they go along that way. And then there's the ones that are firmly in the Aryan, we want to keep on populating the white race in some way. I don't know where he sits on that. Because when he in trouble for some criminal activities not too long ago, people were coming after him.
Yeah, because of data breaching, and I swear he had some sort of accusations or something like that. There was and that's been kind of like swept under the carpet. I swear he had like allegations, sexual allegations. And it's annoying because the person who introduced me to Telegram, because I was using it for a while until we broke up, you know who I'm talking about, used it. So it's all nefarious people that use it. I won't.
Yeah, Melissa was arrested. I remember him coming under some type of scrutiny for illegal means, not really about his children. That is a lot of kids. I mean, he also has a lot of money, and people need sperm because like functioning sperm is in a decline as well. It's a scary place that we live on all different levels.
People do need sperm, but there's rules and regulations to how much you can donate for a reason, because people could be, and they could end up in close proximity. And we've spoken about before where people have got into relationships and not realized that they're related because there's this pull when they meet each other, but they don't realize the pull is that it's because you share genetics. They actually think that it's love and it's all this stuff. And like that Jonathan fucking Meja, the Norwegian guy, he's got over 1,000 kids, over 1,000, and some of them were in the same schools.
It's crazy. Yeah, but then also inbreeding isn't. They'll frown on it when it's anyone that's not white, but when it's them, like it's historically in their behavior and their tradition that inbreeding is nothing.
Yeah, of course. The Queen thank you. The Queen and Prince Philip are related. Queen Victoria married her first cousin. Prince Philip and Queen Elizabeth were first and second cousin or some shit like that. Or third cousins. They're cousins though.
I'm trying to think where to go next because there's so much we could jump to. Let's go to something a bit more London local. Carnival's in trouble, guys. Apparently, Notting Hill Carnival's future at risk without urgent government funding. A leaked letter from Notting Hill Carnival organisers warns the festival's future is in jeopardy without immediate financial support. What do you lot think?
I think I got into an argument online with someone about this the other day. I did a now. Oh,
okay, is it? Was you in there?
I was in the comments. I was going back and forth in the comments because I saw it on BBC. I think one of you lot must have put it in a group. And I went onto the BBC link, and the comments in there were wild. And all I said was, these comments in here are wild. I'd like to see the stats on Glastonbury and on football. And people were coming for me. So I was like, is it? Okay, but I got time today. And I proceeded to throw some stats their way. A lot of people that are talking about, I know this is not the story, but it is the same rhetoric that the people who want Carnival to go either have never been to Carnival or have moved into an area where Carnival is and have this idea that it's so wild. The reason why it needs more cash is because they've cut things in that area anyway. So of course it's going to need more cash. That if they injected the same level of cash into this as they do into other things, then it would be fine. But they want to cut the route. They want to block access. They don't want police. Not necessarily all of them want to go and work on there. So I'm not surprised that it needs more funding.
Let's go.
Notting Hill Carnival could be cancelled this year unless the government steps in with urgent funding. It's after a review raised major safety concerns with more than 300 people arrested and 8 stabbed among crowds of up to 2 million people last year. Just to give you a taster, I want to speak to Susan Hall, Assembly member down there at the London Assembly in just a moment. But Susan Hall, leader of the Conservative group in the London Assembly, put this very question to London Mayor Sadiq Khan today at mayoral question time. Here it is.
It is a victim of its own success. And we just can't cope with more people in those small streets. It is a disaster waiting to happen. It's very unpalatable for it to be stopped. Having said that, it is so dangerous there now. And quite frankly, any police officer you speak to doesn't want to go. So I just wonder whether you think that something else should happen there.
Sorry.
That's literally a lie.
Before we get into the rest of it, sorry. You know what's fucking dangerous? When they kettle you and don't let you be free.
Thank
I
you.
understand that there needs to be some regulation because I guess it can get out of control. People going every which way but loose. But when that one time 2 years ago, when I thought I was going to, well, maybe not die, but I thought I might have lost my life. Same thing I just said, but I was caught in the middle. I just because it's a bit weird to say. I don't know if that's been dramatic, but I could not get out because the police refused to let us siphon off the side streets. They were forcing everyone to, from the top and from the bottom of Notting Hill, to go that way. Yeah.
Listen, let me just explain something to you. Yeah.
Always the same thing.
As someone who deals with crowds and works in health and safety, and you know I've always got my health and safety hat on, right? When I was there, because I remember I was experienced a similar sort of thing that year as well. If you have millions of people and you have one route of egress, if you have one route of egress, you are going to have problems.
Yes.
You are going to have problems. Why do they stand in front of the other routes and funnel everyone down on Ladbroke Grove Road? Why do they do that?
Why would you do that?
There's no need for it to be like that.
No, they want it to happen.
They want it. I was in my sister's house. My sister lives above Carnival Route, right? And we stood and we watched, actually, there must have been about 12 police people. And they even got caught up in the melee because they were standing around. And then all of a sudden, before you knew it, all of the crowds were forced onto this one street and there's nowhere to go.
Yes.
People were trying to, like, it, even if you look at football concerts, football matches and concerts and those things, there is never one route of egress. It's never that. You can't force millions of people down one route and expect nothing to happen. You cannot do it. Year after year, I've been going Carnival for as long as I can fucking remember. Exactly. And year after year, they block the routes, they make it smaller, but yet more people are going to come. Of course they are. They're not doing that in any other fucking place where there are an abundance of people. They're not doing this in any other festival.
It's for a reason, though. Like as somebody said, they have made the route smaller, and you can see it on the map. I actually wish I had kept, because my mum used to do food years ago then, and obviously you get the whole planners. I wish I had had that to actually be able to see. There are loads of roads I know where there were stalls that are not there anymore. Like it's closed off. That's where the police trucks are. That's where sometimes there's coaches. That used to be a route where no floats are around there, but people would walk. So you're not on a route where there are floats or even sound systems. This is just places where people can go and eat. Now you've got areas where there are sound systems, and that's where you go and eat. So people are standing, people are chilling. You've closed it off. It doesn't make any sense. And then when they lock it off at 7, the way they lock off roads where you used to be able to just walk past, and they're like, no, you can't walk there anymore. You want a stampede. They want 1 year for a set of people. They're hoping that they're young and they're black to literally bust through the crowd and cause a stampede. That's what they're hoping. Every year they hope it happens.
Yeah, they want that. Anyway, let's get back to this and discuss more.
So I've seen images of some of the crowds at some parts of the day, and watching them made me frightened. And one of the advantages we have is expertise based on the tragedy of what happened at Hillsborough. And
but you're not using that.
We now know there's a concern around crushing, and actions weren't taken to ensure we did whatever we could to minimize the possibility of that happening. So I support the Carnival Trust in asking the government for additional funding. My team is speaking to the government as I speak in relation to what help the government can give. I've got to be quite frank, though, with colleagues in the Assembly, as I always am. City Hall and the 2 councils have given the maximum we can financially, and so we would need the government to step in.
Sadiq Khan responding to that question from Susan Hall. In a moment, we'll speak to Peter Blexley, former Met Police detective, of course, big friend here on the station. But now let's speak with Susan Hall, Assembly member, leader of Conservative group on the London Assembly. Susan, good afternoon to you.
Hello, Ian. Good to see you.
Is that the first time Sadiq Khan has kind of sort of agreed with you, even if he didn't say it out loud?
Yes, I was shocked, to be honest. I've mentioned this before because it's been worrying me for many years, and he's always been very defensive. That's the first time I have not seen him being defensive.
Yeah.
But to to be honest, Ian, no amount of money can make something safe when there's 2 million people going and they're in tiny, thin streets. And there's problems and trouble there every single year. And I don't see why taxpayers should be paying towards it, because I don't think you can make it any more safe than the police have tried to.
Exactly. I mean, 2 million is like a quarter of the entire capital's population, for goodness sake, all in one borough.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, well, you can see in the pictures you're showing now. I mean, the commissioner has said that he's very, very concerned that will be a massive crushing event
stop closing the
similar
fucking
to that
road.
at Hillsborough. Well, if your top cop is saying that, for God's sake, listen. And you can see by the pictures now, if yet more people come and then push from one end, you're going to have a absolute disaster there.
Right.
And in terms of, you know, the
Can we
things
stop
that
this?
happen,
people
we
that-
know, we have seen people killed.
This is not people. This is not a channel that actually wants to talk in
No,
a good way.
I think the points raised will help us because we've got our view. If we hear that counter, there's some points that they make that we can counter. They're not for us. We know that, but there's still points to be made that we can counter. Did you want to come back to something within this bit?
I just don't like these people talking about it because one, she's probably never ever been to fucking Carnival in her fucking life. Yeah, so she doesn't actually know. So it's just, and this guy, he's obviously not for us either. And the commissioner, these are all people that want Carnival to end because they don't like him. How come no one talks about Pride with this? How many people go to Gay Pride? How many people go to there? I'm not saying it's 2 million. I'm not saying that at all. But Carnival is Notting Hill Carnival is not the only festival in the fucking world. It isn't.
No, I think.
And in terms of the small street, go ahead. Sorry.
Just to even, it's like if it's grown and there's 2 million, you open it up, don't you? Most people, they then extend routes, and you would bring it into Kensington and Chelsea Borough then as well. Like you would open it up so that it covered more ground. But instead, you've locked off more routes, and it's not like advertising even goes into Carnival. There's not a lot that happens in London, so it's been going for so long. It's known this is going to take place on Bank Holiday weekend. You open it up so that there's people there already. You know that 2 million are coming every single year. You extend the routes. You could do it all the way along Kensington High Street. That is more bodies to flood out and cover London. The route that Pride goes on is such a long route, and there is so many people. You go through parks. It's got bigger. Pride used to be in a park, and now it's on streets. It's got bigger, but when it's black folks, you want to make it smaller, and you want an incident where people die. You want this 2 million people, and if only 8 people got stabbed, that is not equal to 150,000 in Glastonbury, and you have dozens of rapes that take place there, and people die. It's
Leeds Festival has the highest rate of arrests and sexual offences than any other fucking festival in this country. Leeds does, right? In comparison, so there to every 10,000 people in Glastonbury, there are 3.10 arrests, right? In comparison, Notting Hill Carnival is 3.7. It's 3.1 for Glastonbury. It's 3.7 for Notting Hill Carnival, and that's 2 million people. They want to keep making it out like crime is a problem, and the problem is the way that these people don't want it to be in those areas. Every year, as we all said, the route is closed. Every year, you see police in front of crowd barriers blocking roads where used to be access. You need to have access and egress. You cannot funnel people into one space.
Okay, so I'm a fan of all.
Another thing, sorry, just before we go on, Carnival generates 400 million. 400 fucking million. That's how much money it generates.
The only thing I'm thinking is extending we've got government cuts. Now, Carnival is important to a certain set of people. It's not important to everybody in the UK. It's important to a certain set of people. And it's not all, yes, they're primarily black, but not just black people. They're not just black people that enjoy Carnival, right? So there's a certain group of us who are like, Carnival cannot go. We need it. We want it. But there's also people who have their right to be like, I don't want this. And I do not want to be living in Kensington and be bothered. I don't want Kensington High Street because there are resources that are needed for expanding it. So I think there has to be a happy medium, a conversation what they're doing now is on purpose, intentional, and wrong. That's dangerous.
Okay.
I think there's room to discuss how big the route can get. And I don't think it can just be, let's grow it and grow it and grow it because the people are coming, because it's not, in quote, realistic, because then it will drain more police resources, more security resources, especially when you're getting into like shop spaces. Like
the thing is, but Freya,
I'm just putting these points.
I know. But just on that point, we've all said we see police in front of crowd barriers blocking roads.
No,
You don't
exactly.
have to block the road. They're blocking the road at both ends. You do not have to block the road. Okay, if you don't want to make Carnival go into the whiter spaces of Kensington and Chelsea, fine. Open up the fucking roads that used to be open then. Stop locking it off in the way that you're doing. Anyone with half a health and safety fucking brain can understand that you cannot funnel people into one space without there being danger. You can't do that.
The numbers in regards to the danger, like, we're not going to reduce the devastation that deaths cause to families, and you know what I mean. We already know there's some horrible deaths that have happened at Carnival and things that go wrong at Carnival are terrible. But at the end of the day, if you think about the numbers, as you said, the massive people that are there, and over the years, however the years of Carnival's existence, there hasn't been mass murder. There hasn't been the numbers.
Absolutely,
of crime has not changed. It's not like we've got this new super wave of new crimes that are invented because of Carnival. Nothing changes. You have to be more, yes, you have to be more stringent. Wherever the case is, the same way you're stringent about football hooligans, the same way you're stringent, well, kind of stringent, but anywhere else where the mass people gather, the intents that you put on that is what you apply to this place. We know that they don't want to, but I just wanted to expand the conversation.
What they don't talk about is stuff like this, yeah? Do you remember the Euros and what happened in Wembley?
Yeah.
Do you remember that? Because they don't talk about that. So there was massive violence in Wembley when the Euros happened, yeah? And there were people breaking into Wembley Stadium, crushing barriers to get into Wembley Stadium, what's the word? Going through doors, a whole bunch of hooligans drinking uncontrollably all day long.
All of central London.
All of this stuff happened, but you don't hear about that. Or if this was a white thing, if this was a predominantly white thing, we wouldn't hear a peep out of these people.
We wouldn't hear a thing out.
Not a peep.
Even comparing it to Hillsborough was to even compare it to Hillsborough with your chest, knowing that Hillsborough was a result of poor crowd control.
Yes,
that was why Hillsborough went wrong. They had poor crowd control.
That's my point.
And it wasn't.
You know that. If you recognize that, because I was going to say it, but I didn't want to say it, yeah. But if you recognize that the reason why Hillsborough happened, why are you allowing it to happen in Notting Hill Carnival unless it's intentional? Unless you want something to really change, so that you then have the reason to say we're stopping this shit. Yeah. Because the math ain't mathing. Every time someone says about the violence in Carnival, we're like, but look at this statistic, but look at that compared to this, compared to that. They want something absolutely tragic to happen so they can put a pin in it.
It's the media is in cahoots with this as well, because every single year, without fail, it gets to about June, July, they will have stories of Carnival being in trouble. Since I was a teenager, every single year it comes out, and it still happens. And then give it next week, there'll be a whole debate on we should just move this to Hyde Park. Because it always goes round. We should just move it to a park. Less people will come. We'll have more control. We can check people more. Like they don't do checkpoints in Carnival anyway. Each time I've gone, I've seen a whole load of young people be searched along wherever. It doesn't matter which end I go from. Abbott Grove, Westbourne Park, Notting Hill Gate. I'm going to see a whole load of young people being checked by police. It's what takes place. So keep on doing that, but open up more roads. That's all it is. And that's all it is. The opening of the roads. It's when it gets to 7 o'clock, a road that we could walk down before to get to a sound system gets closed. That doesn't make any sense. You can have people exiting that area from all walks. You could go through Royal Oak. You could go anywhere.
Yeah.
But you don't want that to happen, and you funnel people through one part. It doesn't make any sense. You literally want us to die. That is what you want, a year where people die through a crushing.
They do.
Public safety.
They want their Hillsborough. Ronald, Hillsborough is let me get it factual. It was a football match. How many years ago was it now? Where-
in the 90s where it happened. In
Yeah, it was Liverpool. Was it ever? I can't
Let me
remember.
get the facts because I can't.
I think it was Liverpool versus Everton. I think it was maybe a Champions Cup.
It wasn't at Liverpool. I think it was in.
Basically, okay, so the Hillsborough disaster was a fatal crowd crusher, the football match at Hillsborough Stadium in Sheffield, South Yorkshire, in England, on the 15th of April, 1989. It occurred during an FA Cup semi-final between Liverpool and Nottingham Forest in the two standing-only central pens within the Leppings Lane stand allocated to Liverpool supporters. Shortly before kickoff, police match commander David Duckenfield ordered exit gate C to be opened in an attempt to ease crowding, which led to an influx of supporters entering the pens. This resulted in overcrowding of those pens and the fatal crush, with a total of 97 fatalities and 766 injuries. The disasters of the deadliest in British sporting history. 94 people died on the day. One more died in hospital days later. And then later on, in the it wasn't football. They said it wasn't football hooliganism and drunkenness. Yeah, they had the big Taylor report, which found the main cause was a failure of crowd control. That's it, whether you're drunk or not. Because if you know that football match is even going to have drunken people and aggressive people, even that, it's crowd control. And this is what you lot are trying to do.
That wasn't why it stayed in our minds. Hillsborough stayed in our minds because the media blamed the crowd.
Yeah, the media.
And that's why Liverpudlians still hate the Sun to this day.
Absolutely.
They blamed the people that was there, that you guys did this to yourselves, basically. You were drunk and disorderly, and you crushed each other.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It wasn't that. It was literally bad management, and nobody got arrested, or there was no punishment to anybody involved in that.
Yeah, and it was basically poor crowd control. Just speaking on this and safety and police. So there's been a report that Met Police are going to increase safety patrols at London concerts. The Met Police will increase officer presence at 51 concerts across London this summer to improve safety for who? Women and girls. The move is part of an ongoing crackdown on violence against women, with officers working alongside event organisers to identify and remove predatory men in crowds. Beyonce's recent Tottenham Hotspur Stadium shows were among the first to see these measures in action, resulting in the removal of suspected offenders for stalking and upskirting. So when they want to work with people and figure something out, they can.
Heading to London to see Dua, Doechii or Oasis this summer? Well, you'll see more of these guys on patrol. The Met Police is stepping up its presence at gigs to improve safety for women and girls. There are more than 51 major concerts scheduled in the capital over the next few months, and over 5,000 officer shifts have been dedicated to support the events. The initiative has already been tested at one of Beyonce's shows earlier this June, and it led to someone being removed on suspicion of stalking and threatening behavior, as well as a man who was arrested for upskirting. It's all part of the Met strategy known as the V100 Project, which aims to track and target the most harmful offenders. Since it started running, 177 people have been arrested. Police say it's not just about looking at the crowd and identifying who shouldn't be there, but it's a way for concert goers to be able to speak to officers and voice their concerns. The Met says every woman and girl has a right to feel safe, and you should always call 999 in an emergency. So, do you think it will make a difference?
So, do you think it will make a difference?
No, because I'm trying to find the account. It's going viral on TikTok, and there was a girl that was actually at Beyonce's final show, and she was assaulted while she was there.
Oh wow!
And there was lots of people talking about there was more security on the ground, but the person has been outed. She managed to get a picture of him, but it just highlighted the level of violence against women and girls that has grown within the UK as well. And it's just really sad. It's like it's unfortunate. She's just gone there, had a good time. This guy seems to have drunk a lot and grabbed her ass, spat on her, and managed to run off. Now, there was security trying to find him as well. He has been named, because as soon as she put the picture up on TikTok, it went viral. There are people that were in the same area that she was as well, that were like, yeah, he seemed to be acting weird. He seems to be from South London, but it's going around. It's like there has to be more safety for women as well in these places. And I think alcohol does play a part in it. It's like
Yeah.
if you're seeing somebody just get too inebriated, I think security just needs to remove them, even if they are just being a drunkard. But you never know. We have to keep our girls safe.
So there's all of that, and then also this other story that a new 17-story tower block is under construction in Acton, and it'll become the UK's first.
Yeah, we definitely.
Yeah, we did. We talked about this. Yeah,
it's coming to fruition. I think it was in discussion before, and now it's coming. This was the next. It's going to open next summer.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been moving forward. So I didn't know we'd spoken about it, but this is now.
Remember we were saying, how's it going to work?
So now, due to open next summer, Brook House will provide 102 affordable flats for women, including survivors of domestic abuse. The scheme replaces a deteriorating 39-home estate and is being delivered by Ealing Council in partnership with Women Pioneer Housing. So there's no video on it that I could find, but it's that, and then this whole grooming gang stuff that's happening. Again, we're back to, guys, what there's all these, let's protect the women, but what are we doing to talk to the guys that are feeling that they have the right and dominion over women yet again? This housing block for women, men feeling like they can just abuse women in public. Where are we at? What are we doing?
Well, I guess they can. As Asher says, he sexually and physically assaulted her in front of thousands and his girlfriend. I think there are just levels of what can you do? Where do you even begin to have this conversation? There's safety, and then there is the rampant kind of, you're going to be able to do anything to a woman that is just out there, from catcalling, like, you know, just being able to walk down the street and not have somebody either tell you to smile or that you look good, or these are not compliments. It's an exertion of power. I just want to be able to walk down the street and not be harassed like a man can. Nobody is stopping a man and being like, "Hey, buff ticket." They're not getting that.
Imagine.
That's and so I don't know. It's a whole culture shift on all of that. But there are some women, when they get older, they talk about, "Oh, I miss being catcalled," and it's like, what are you talking about? That was harassment. So it's trying to shift perspectives on life.
It's so funny. You guys, you two know that I've been reading through my old diaries, and there's someone that I was going out with that I was too young and naive or something to take him seriously. But if I took him seriously, I would be an abused girlfriend. Like, he said things that was just like, you can't. And it was like, you can't do this. How dare you? Like, you can't talk to man. You can't go out. And I think he said to me, we were all planning to go out. The girls were going to a rave, and he's like, you can't go to a rave. You cannot go to this rave. And I was like, but are you coming round? No, I'm not coming round. I've got things to do, but you cannot go. And I contemplated this, and this guy is not treating me right already. It's like, every day I'm writing in my diary, is he my boyfriend? Is he not? Is he my boyfriend? Is he not? And then he's like, I'm not coming round. You cannot go out. And I'm sitting there thinking, okay, I'm not going to go out. Then the last minute, I'm like, no, I'm going out. Fuck him. Then he cusses me the next day. Then he sweets me. I'm saying, he sweets me and he cussed me. He sweets me and he cusses me. And he says I'm a tomboy. And it's just like, I've forgotten all of this. But when I'm writing it down, there's a cognizance that this is abusive behavior. But there's also, oh, he's so sweet. But it wasn't a serious relationship. For whatever happened, thankfully, he didn't have power over me. So for me to really succumb to what he was saying to me. But he was in his chest. Every time I saw it, I was like, this guy is crazy. Like, it's just.
But you see a young mind, how it's so molded. Now, let's say you're after a boyfriend and he had given you that. So then it's kind of like, but he's my boyfriend.
Yeah.
And it's called like the Romeo effect or something in grooming. It is like, it just needs a little bit more. Now, he may have had you there. There may have been two girls where he is like, I am my boyfriend, and he's doing the same to them. Yeah. And in the same way, that's like a passing thing. If you didn't have your diaries, that still sits somewhere.
Yeah.
And there are going to be loads of girls that have had that, and they don't know, and it just sits somewhere in them that a man does have dominion over where I am and what I do. And so then you allow lots of different ways that men can kind of impart their will on you. And it's like, I go along with it. I just, this man says this is how it goes. And we do that so much. I come out of a station now. If it's a bit dark, my keys go in between my fingers, and I already have my hand clutched.
Always
to fight.
Always.
All I want to do is just walk home, but I'm already on guard. What is that doing to my nervous system?
All the time.
I'm just ready for if you even brush past me. You know, sometimes like somebody's just trying to walk their way, and you're like, ready to fight. No,
when I get into my car late at night, I lock it as soon as I get into the car, because like you have to drive off for it for the lock. I lock it as soon as I get in my car.
It's a mad thing. Well, it's 3:00. Do we want to do some nonsense, or do you have any more time for more stories?
Let's do some nonsense.
All right, I got quite a bit of
people extras. We weren't here last week, and I forgot to say we weren't here as well because I was drunk. Still,
why not, man?
I mean, why not? We weren't in the country. You have every right to be drunk. Okay, so there's a few like these are silly little things I'm gonna find. Guys, do you think this is odd? I'm gonna go on mute so it doesn't make noise before I start.
Do we think this is odd?
I think it's odd that you said that on mute. Yeah. I do. I concur.
I literally explained what I was doing. Do you think it's
Yeah,
odd?
but it was a line.
Going on mute so it doesn't play before.
Okay, all right. I'll get some comments. So people were reflecting on the building, and somebody did say that this is KW. The tower block is a classic example of ignoring the disease and focusing on the symptom.
Yeah.
Yes,
precisely. Thank you.
It's that part. I think we didn't get into like discussing that. That's the part of. I think I remember now that we spoke about how it was going to work. It's that, but also there is if you're a woman that's been through something, I just want to be in a block where I can just feel free and not feel some type of way. So maybe there are people there will be women that benefit, that feel like yes,
yeah.
Because I think when my hostel was Ebony Sistren, that was for women. That was for women, and I don't think you necessarily had to come from a domestic violence background, but it had the room for that. It had that.
You know what I would love? Okay, so it's one thing your block being safe. That to me is just walking into my house. Cool. But it's outside. I really appreciated when there was for a few years the Guardian Angels.
Remember.
I loved that. It just felt safer. You could get on the transport system. You saw them with their little berets on, and you just felt like there was a set of.
What happened to them? What did they do to them?
I don't know where they went, and maybe
I feel like they did something to them.
It was a funding thing.
Was it? I love that they were around. I feel that they're needed, like not vigilantes, but not police, but somehow a community set of folks. Like there's the black guy, like Rasta. Respect, whatever his name is.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
He has his group that patrol things. I want that.
Okay, so
they went to the farm. What do you mean?
The Guardian Angels began in New York, and let me show. So let's have a look because there's a whole article. I've just found one first article. Alrighty.
Does anybody remember the Guardian Angels? You guys can't be that young watching us.
They're lying. Lies and propaganda.
Forever Family, that's it. I want Forever Family around more as well. So the Guardian Angels began in New York, we know that. They came to the UK in 1989 and were met with resistance from the beginning. And now, over 20 years later, the London chapter is reduced to only a few core members: Hawke, the UK director, Axe, his deputy, and Elephant. They continue to patrol central London at night, riding the underground and night buses, although they have little support from the government/city. The Guardian Angels in New York get to ride public transport for free while on patrol, whereas the London chapter have no such help. Americans, as an just bad vibes over here constantly.
Yeah. When was this? When's this article dated?
Let's see. This is 2013. So this obviously is still happening. This is old. I just found that. But to be fair, the only thing I have is that everything gets corrupted. So I'd be as much as yes, Guardian Angels, but then I'd be like, yeah, that Guardian Angel went and attacked a woman the other day.
We never heard anything of that, but we were young. I was young and appreciated their presence because
I bought into it.
Farrah, a latchkey kid. Me and my brother used to go on the underground quite a lot.
Yeah.
To travel to my mum's workshops, to come back home. We we were out and about a lot as kids, and they just provided an extra, like they're out here to keep people safe. And I appreciated seeing them on the trains. And it just feels I would like that now, so I don't have to have keys and my fists balled up, ready to fight somebody all the time.
Yep. Anyway, nonsense.
Yeah. All right.
Video went viral. You guys can watch it. I don't know what to say about it. It just got millions and millions of views. Here you go. You're like, aw, like that's so cool. Like you won his football game. His girlfriend is wearing the colors. She's like hugging him. That's so cute. Guys, that's his mom. This is a kid being straddled by his mom, which I think is a little strange. And she had this video taken and she posted it to her Instagram. The mom did. Now there's this like a subtopic right now on the internet of boy moms, like moms who have boys of this sort of energy. There are certainly some mothers trying to like build a boyfriend when it comes to their son, the man that they wish that they had kind of energy. And that's what this video gives me. I can't. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Get off, get up. It makes me so uncomfortable. This video went viral.
What do you think? Overreaction?
I thought that was his girlfriend for real old.
His girlfriend too. I was thinking, what? Like, what's the problem? His girlfriend.
No, you can't just no, I don't like it.
You don't need to straddle him. Why are you straddling him? You can hug him. A big hug. It's a big hug.
Why have you jumped on his waist?
Why are you jumping on him like that? It's a bit weird.
Glenheim said husband sons.
Husband sons. Yeah,
no,
I don't like it. I don't like it. Pineapples. I don't like it.
You're on mute.
There's no need for you to jump on your boy's waist like that. That's crazy. And post it and be like,
No. That was weird. I have read a couple of people's things, and these are people I know, and it's like any girl that gets with my son, it just feels a little bit gross. Like
they're gonna be
yeah, it's like that's not your man. Like it's really, I don't know.
But remember Marlon Wayans saying that he didn't marry because of his mom?
Yeah.
But he said that though, did she?
Yeah.
Okay. But I mean, if he had a girlfriend and you witnessed the mum jump on your man, like, it's just all a bit weird.
Yeah,
it's very strange. It is very strange. Like I was watching a program once, and the girl was saying to the guy she was dating, "Oh, it's a big ick for me if I see a guy and he kisses his mum on the lips." And then they went for dinner at the mum's house, and the mum kissed the guy on the lips.
No, you can't. You just can't. As a child, and then there's a cutoff where it's just cheek kisses, forehead kisses. An adult boy now. Obviously, my sons are always my babies, but they're not babies. They're boys, and then they're men. I can't be like, oh, absolutely not. No, you cannot do that. So I think their dad, and then no, you shouldn't have to be told these things. It should just be standard.
I've got another one as well. Yeah. How old do you think? When do you think people should stop breastfeeding?
Before teeth.
Okay, that's what I think.
I
mean, actually boob out breastfeeding. If you want to do pumping, okay.
No,
but
I
boob out breastfeeding.
I actually think about
5. You said 5. 5.
Yeah.
No, 5.
I do.
Boob out breastfeeding. 5 years old. 5 years in nursery, in reception. Boob out breastfeeding.
Yeah.
Running around saying, "Mum, what's for dinner?"
Even if they can be like booby, like I think 5 years. I think maybe up until they go to it's 5 that they go primary school, isn't it? It's about 5.
They start reception at 5.
Yeah, because teeth isn't. This is the thing. I stopped. Maybe he was 2, and I stopped under peers and family pressure. I would have gone on longer. But obviously he's bopping, so I've got 2
You had 2 breastfeeding 2.
No, I once I got pregnant, I couldn't carry on with Akai because it just felt too weird.
Then that's me.
So, and obviously he's like 9 months then. And so then with Akaija, maybe I overcompensated, but I managed to get to like 2, it maybe got to 2.5. And then my mum, one time we were at hers and she just didn't stop. She was just like, this is absolutely ridiculous. Like, he's so big. He did have teeth. He never bit me, but he was big. They were 2 big boys then, like just bopping about. And
one of them's coming for boob.
And I felt I felt like I couldn't do it anymore.
One of them's coming for boob, and the other one's like, "Yeah, mum, can I have a fizzy drink?"
yeah. My mum stopped. What was your? I would have gone on for longer. I would have gone on.
What was it? Why?
I took it more as like nutrition and comfort.
Okay.
So obviously he's eating normal foods now.
Yes.
I'm breastfeeding him maybe once or twice a day, like just when he wakes up, I'm putting him to bed. So in the day, I'm not having any leakage because your breasts seem to acclimatize to it. It's only visible when he latches on and then he can get milk.
But I'm thinking like
annoyed everybody.
But
and
that's what
people in public because he was a big boy and he could walk. And so I felt really conscious. So that's why
I'm saying I would understand
on longer.
I would understand if you were pumping and giving them the breast milk, the nutrition and all of those things. But I'm not gonna lie, the idea of a kid running around and then coming and saying, "Mummy, can I have some Betty?" What Betty? It's fucking wild to me. Because I was on a plane the other day. This is why I bring the story here. And the woman whacked out her boob. And this was like after the kid was fully talking on the plane, like, "We're flying, look at the plane, Mummy, I want to eat, I want to put this down, yay, Mummy." Like, having full-blown conversations, kicking chairs, doing kid-like things, yeah. Then she whacked out her boob. And I was like, wow, man, here. She didn't whack it. Wait, I'm not finished. She didn't whack it out once or twice. She whacked it out multiple times on that plane journey. The journey was 4 hours and she had her boob out multiple times.
I think it's I would like to not be bound by kind of Western brainwash. I'd like to say in a remote village in the Gambia, this is what they do in the men turn into
the Gambia? Why don't you say Ghana?
I just was being dramatic. I mean, whatever. Like there's a remote village in Africa where these men are weaned until they're breastfeeding till they're 10 and they become warriors and superpowers. I don't know the story, the counter narrative as to why that this nutrition is so important when they get to a point past the talking, walking. We've developed now. We're actually functioning now. Why they need the breast and what that bond is, whether it's missing or it's even stronger. What superhuman gets created after they get to the point where this is? Because that's the conversation.
I kind of feel as well, yeah, and no shade, Nance. I kind of feel as well. Sometimes it's more about the mum than it is about the kid. It's more about the mum wanting, and I get that wanting to bond with your child because breastfeeding. I breastfed my daughter. I breastfed until she was about 7 months. It's a beautiful experience. It is. Yeah. It's a wonderful, and also it's cheaper, and it's less time consuming. You know, it's a wonderful experience. But for me, as soon as they can chat and have teeth in their mouth, it's over. Like, you can't be saying, "Mummy, can I have fish fingers and chips and a bit of boob on the side?"
No, you know what it was? So I thought I was going into he would just stop himself. Like, I was ready to carry on until he just stops. Because you know, sometimes a kid is like, I remember from Seren, my nephew, he just maybe he got to about a year and he just wasn't on it anymore.
Okay.
So he never came round. He just took his bottle. Whereas Akaija didn't ever take to a bottle. So he never got milk another way other than if it's in a cup or it's breast milk. He just he could, and I liked pumping. And breastfeeding for me was easy. And I know it isn't easy for a lot of people. I had a lot of breast milk as well. So it was easy and it just felt like it turns into our time because I had 2 toddlers. So a lot of the time is spent with 2 babies and breastfeeding was, we could just be together. So I would have gone on for longer, but it was peer pressure. And I'm like, I wish I didn't give into the, oh my God, the side eyes and just carried on. Because I do have friends and they went on until their kids were going properly to school and then they stopped. And it's like, I could have done that very easily if I didn't have eyes on me. But so I sometimes I do see a big one come along and just put their hands in somebody's top. And it is like, oh my God, that is really weird.
Like,
my son would do that to people. So at the same time, I was like, this probably does have to end. Because he was such a booby. He would spot a boob on a woman and his head is going to lie that woman's boob. Absolutely. And he's going to try and touch it. And it was like, all right, he's getting bigger. So maybe I'm a part of the problem. It was for me. Definitely. It is a part of the mums. It is. Because there's something in it. There is hormones. And no shame, I lost a lot of weight.
Breastfeeding makes you lose weight too. It does.
So yeah, it went hand in hand.
It does make you lose a lot of weight. But yeah, I'm all for breastfeeding mum. I don't like when people, like even the woman on the plane, I wasn't about to say to put your baby away, you're disgusting, because it's about you and it's about your child. But when a child can talk and walk and has full teeth, a little bit like,
yeah, you don't want a big kid coming along and being like, bitty.
That's what I mean. What bitty? Putting their hand down your top, one bitty. What do you mean, bruv?
Yeah, no. I think it's an element of that soup. Like you want your kids to start being independent and not depend on you so much, and they've got to go forth and find the world for themselves. So I think there is something in it, and and also there's a sexual connotation. No matter what, there is a bit of like, okay, now let's not create that dependency or obsession with boobs and stuff, and so you want to figure it out.
You do want a bit of a separation along the way. You can't have a big kid, most definitely. And then you want them to be able to just stop, because also as it goes on, it's complicated.
It's breastfeed. As I said before, I'm an advocate for breastfeeding, but I'm an advocate for it stopping when the child has teeth and can speak.
So that leads me. There was a story that I saw. I don't know if I can find it because they were saying that now, like, there's more and more kids going to nursery, not potty trained, on preschool, not even.
Oh yeah,
that's real. Because we're creating. We are creating. I'm saying in a wider scheme, kids that are not independent anymore. Like from just sticking an iPad in front of them, removing their motor skills because we're so caught up with convenience, to the point where now parents apparently are too lazy or feeling like they don't have the time to train their kids to use toilets.
That's why some nurseries will say that unless your kid's potty trained, they can't come.
My nursery. That would be my
I actually, my niece is a nursery nurse. I actually don't blame them, because think about like the attention that you have to give to the kids within the nursery and the number of kids that are there. So it's different if it's a baby, but if you're bringing like a 2-3-year-old and they're not potty trained, that's wild. And also, I don't understand why you wouldn't want to potty train them. Like my daughter was potty trained probably before she could walk, because
it's laziness.
It's like, let's get to doing this.
I think it really is laziness. It's not even going to nursery, it's school. There's a problem with reception kids. They are going there and they're in trainers. So obviously they may be able to at some point lunchtime go, but you can't, they don't have bladder control like that. So they're going to reception with their trainer pants still on. I think it is laziness. I think a lot of people don't know how to parent properly. So they're just going along with, I've had a child, I've got an iPad, they like Miss Rachel, I can feed them, but actually the steps of parenting, discipline, and what you got to do, they are like, well, you go and they're going to sort it out, because they will, in reception, they will try and get them into a routine, and then before you know it, they're in pants. I think it's a wild thing, but I was very lucky. I had my mum to really be like, okay, now it's time. They got to be potty trained. So it just went into potty training. Now, I think I did. I still would have figured it out. I'm not going to rely on a teacher. That's what I'm going to do. But I think within the hierarchy and systems that we have in place in families, a lot of people don't have that, and that's black and white now. When I had my boys, there is an elder that comes and teaches you and stays with you. It's like it goes along. You learn things from them. Lots of people don't have that, and if they're not even cognizant enough to even start buying books, they're just winging it out here.
And then also, I think within our communities, there's always like you've looked after children as well.
Yes,
before
you know it all.
So you notice, like, I can't say that my mum was like, oh, put her on the potty. It wasn't that, but like I was around for my brothers, I was around for other people, so I've kind of like seen things and learned things, and you've had the responsibility of that. So it's like you just know at a certain stage, and these things make your life easier too.
100%. That's what I was a young girl trying to figure it out. Got a baby under my arm. You need to get sorted quickly, and also then there's a safety element. You don't want when they're going into school, into institutions, you'd like to have their own understanding of their bodies and personal space. I don't want my child to be at that. I mean, she went to nursery, and I don't think she was potty. Was she? I don't know. I can't remember how old she was when she went to nursery. I think she might have been potty trained. But at the end of the day, there's nurseries there to be there for accidents and stuff like that. I don't want too many strangers over my child. You don't know what's going on. We had a story about. I mean, we can do it next week about the nursery nurse or whatever. We don't want that. So we want the children to have autonomy over their bodies and protection over their bodies and stuff like that. So you got to know, but it is laziness. But I also, when I say that the society has created a world where dependency is a thing. Like you don't touch the child, let the child have rights, ask permission. You know, there's that thing of asking a child permission before you change their bum. There was a movie.
Well, I was going to say there's this whole notion of this soft parenting style, isn't it? And like letting the child discover themselves at the time that they want to discover themselves. Like I understand that, but like potty train your kid, isn't it?
Yeah, potty train your kid. Like my child will understand when to use a toilet. No, I'm not having a nappy filled.
Or they dictate. No, I think that's lazy non-parenting.
Yeah,
it shouldn't be confused with gentle parenting.
No,
parenting is just a removal of corporal punishments in any.
No, I understand that, but there are also
there is lazy parenting where it's literally like you just don't want a parent, so you're going to allow your child to bring themselves up. Those humans that come out under those regimes are just shit people. Because you need guidelines is why you have parents or people would self-hatch. It's a solution. It's like we are given these things as mammals for a reason, and you should be rearing your children, and that's a responsibility. Or don't
on top of lazy parenting, there are those parents that want their kids to remain babies forever.
Yeah.
There are. And these are the ones that don't potty train their kids. These are the ones that you see their kid that's like 7 and still on a bottle. Why still got a bottle at 7?
In a pram.
In a pram. Your legs are dangling off. Like your feet are scraping along the ground. Scraping. In a pram.
Like they climb into the pram, and it's like, bro, if he can climb into the pram by himself and self-footed, he can walk. He doesn't need to be in a pram anymore.
Right?
Like, let's not do this.
Let's get rid of it.
When I see a big gangly kid in a pram, it's like, let's let this go.
I can't stand it.
All right, so this I thought was a bit funny. The last one, I think it was just stupid. It's 8 a.m. in Benidorm.
Oh wow, they're running for.
They do this.
That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous.
They do this. And then they'll leave their shit and go somewhere else because they deserve their thing.
I had so much idea of hell.
Me and Toju the other day when we went to Fuerteventura for the girls' trip, we were literally complaining about this. I mean, we were in a villa, so we didn't experience any of this shit. But but you can see on the wider resort where people had done that, where they're coming and just putting their shit down to reserve their lounger for later. So I've got a can of Coke on the bed. I've got a towel on the bed.
I had inappropriate jokes about it, but it's just like, you lot freaking lobsters coming to burn yourselves. And
lobsters on the beach. Do you remember that advert?
Yes, no, it's actually crazy to fry. What was it that did you see that meme where somebody had said white people were on the earth first, and they were like, and then the reply was, well, let the sun decide. Go.
Oh my god, yes, I saw that. Yes, they said to them,
Underside.
I did not see that.
Did you see it? It was amazing. It was the best clapback ever.
Yeah.
Let's underside then, innit? They know this. It was in South Africa. They were saying white people are the natives.
Yeah, they're the originals.
They are the original South Africans. Sorry, my daughter's in here, and why are you clapping my drink? Give it to me.
All right, go on. What's this
I have
woman?
nothing to myself.
This. So this woman, Vienna Extreme, has splashed over 37k on lip fillers, and she's nowhere near done.
It's the most expensive thing I own. I first got those fillers when I was like 19 years old, and I started with 0.5 cc, I think. Right now, I get lip fillers around sometimes every week. Mostly it's between 2 or 4 weeks. I always travel from Mallorca to Frankfurt, my expert for that. I go dancing regularly because I want to go really big. I want to get it really extreme. I get it really pumped up. And so I always ask her when my lips are ready for getting filled in. And if she says, like, now you can go bigger, then I go there. I love about having big lips, that it really affects my daily life and the attention I get. And having big lips totally affects how I talk about girls, also how I drink or eat or also breath. So it's sometimes even hard to breath when I'm going for a run or so. I don't think that it's dangerous to get done so regularly, but even if it wouldn't stop me because I want to go always bigger. I have the biggest lips in the world. My body is the most expensive thing I own. I first got those fillers when I was like 19 years old.
That looks so painful.
It looks like it could explode.
Oh, so in 4 years she's done this to herself. But she's gone mad. Who's injecting her? Surely this should be criminal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
that just looks sore.
Oh, I mean,
not even eat properly. She got
tummy.
She could eat like this.
I got a question on my AMA. What advice I would give to any other aspiring trans bimbo? And they said like that I'm like really inspirational, and thank you so much. I really like that people call me inspirational. That honors me, and my advice I would always have is don't try to emulate someone. So don't try to emulate some girls because it's really hard, and all people online don't show their real faces. And just try to be yourself, and also set your own priorities. For me, it always was my biggest priority was always my lips, my boobs. And if you have a different priority, so then you should do that first, and don't let anyone tell you that this priority is the wrong priority. And so I also got my chin and cheek implants. So many people said to me, like, just go with fillers. But no, for me, it was a huge priority to get my cheek and chin implants, and also with my breast implants. And I really think that that's like what you should really do, is like focusing on what makes you happy. And that's the biggest advice I can give you, I think.
Wow.
And also don't let anyone tell you.
This is her page.
No, like it's not. She's. You know what? I'm not even going to mock her, because I think that there's something up with this woman, and the doctors that are doing this to her, they should be struck off. Because
they're just taking her money.
They're just taking her money. This is not safe. And even when she said she was flying, I was concerned about her flying with that. Like, what's the pressure doing? Like, oh,
hang on. Did she say she's trans?
She did say something about
trans model or
what? So maybe she was a guy before. I don't know.
Oh, this
I don't know.
It's actually really sad.
The boobs just look like they've, like it all looks like a mask. Like it looks like Bo Selector. It looks like a character.
How many surgeries did I have? I had 3 major breast surgeries. I had 1 booty surgery that's totaled in 4 surgeries. I had an eyelid surgery and a bullhorn lift that makes 6 surgeries. I had chin implants and cheek implants that totals to 8 surgeries. Then I had a voice surgery, that's 9. I had more surgeries. Did I forget anything? I had cornea transplant, and I had my replacement of this defect implant. So I had totally 11 surgeries in the last 4 years, not including fellas and broke dogs. I think that's quite a lot.
Oh, this is crazy. No, this is just taking advantage of somebody's mental
Absolutely.
health.
Absolutely.
That's nuts. That is.
Saying she won't stop. It's not. Yeah, plastic surgeons. They've got a lot to answer for because they have
created.
Yeah.
No, that's mad. Mm-mm. Oh wow.
Okay, so yeah, she said all this earlier. She didn't say she'd had Oh, she does porn. Okay.
What?
Literally, I've googled her and Pornhub. I don't want to actually open up Pornhub.
But would the person not even be scared? Like, I wouldn't want her lips on my members in any way, like, because I just don't know.
There was some out there that wants that.
Yeah.
I saw, was this on Shade Borough? Somebody had lip filler and it was coming out, and they were on the thing.
Ew.
Getting it all out because it had actually turned into lumps and had made sores on her lips. Black girl. And I'm so surprised at the amount of black women that are now getting fillers in their lips. I think it's so strange. Yeah, she was online somewhere. It just came on my feed and I was like, oh my God, this is disgusting. It's just trying to get it all out of her lips. I was like, no, crazy.
No.
Anyway,
but yeah, that woman needs to focus on the inner. Someone said it in the comments, and I totally agree. She needs to focus on her inside. But unfortunately, these surgeons are not telling her that. They're just taking her money.
Well, guys, that has been news and absolute nonsense. For tuning in. Thank you for your comments and getting involved. What are you guys doing for the rest of your Sunday?
I cannot believe this, guys. We have been on for almost 3 hours. Nobody even took to Sunday service.
And Sunday service.
They've been offering for the collection coffers. Like,
I know we abandoned you last week. I understand. And if you're angry with us, just tell us you are angry in pounds. Not really.
I can't
King.
I just realized that. It's crazy.
I mean, when Tisa Tells goes on her live, it's just non-stop.
Nothing.
It's non-stop like giving. And we've been on and nobody's even done a... There we go!
Bardi. We love you so much.
Absolute
Thank you, Bardi.
Because he's been gone and he's been watching us on replay. Did you finish cooking? Bardi? Tell us what you cooked and have you finished cooking?
I like food.
Yeah, send some.
Thank you so much, Bardi.
Very
cute. I just could never close the doors. No, the doors are in it. Lock the doors. Lock the people in like the pastor did.
I said, close the
doors. Imagine.
As it stands, there are 100 of you in here. If you all gave us even £1, that would do something.
It would actually do something. £1 or $1.99.
I said $1.99.
But what I would like you to do, if there are 100 of you in here, can you please like this video?
Yeah, like, comment, and
that's what you need to do. Because if you're in here and you've been in here, just like it. It's free.
Mm-hmm.
It helps with the algorithm.
Bless you, Bardi. Thank you so much.
Hello.
William Goat says, Stephanie.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Thank you so much. Will says, you lot have bare money. Auntie Farrah's on the concert number 12 for the month. Relax, Will.
Did you not see, if you follow my Instagram, did you not see what I posted about going to concerts? Yeah. The math ain't mathing. Trust me.
Great mathing. Thank you. Thank you, Teo.
Thank you.
How's Boston?
Lovely.
Yes.
Home of New Kids. No, New Edition. That's what I meant.
And New Kids.
Oh, yes, they're from
and New Kids too, but I didn't want to say New Kids. I want to say New Edition.
They've got that accent. Do you have that accent? The Irishy American accent?
I love that Irish accent from Boston. Like,
yeah. I do love that accent. Yeah. Like it what's that film?
That's what I'm thinking of, the film where it's really prominent.
With Matt Damon.
Matt Damon's in it.
No, not Goodwill. Oh, it wasn't
Matt Damon, Leonardo DiCaprio, Jack Nicholson, What film is that?
Oh no, I'm not thinking of that one. I'm thinking of the one with the girl with the funny shaped head, the strawberry head, and she does it. Millie or Minnie.
The Departed. Millie Bobby Brown.
You said strawberry head, Nana.
Yeah, she got a strawberry head. Her name was Min. Oh, I can see her, but I can't think of it. It'll come to me.
Departed.
Who's that? The Departed. Okay.
The Departed.
Departed. It's a bad boy film. Love it.
It's a corrupt film in Boston.
You know that? I was watching someone break down The Departed the other day. Sorry, we're still on here, but they were saying that if you look at The Departed, if you watch it, everyone that gets killed, there is a scene and there's an X on them somehow. They either walk through an X or there's an X in the shot with them. Single person. Yeah, they broke it down. I was like, I need to watch that again now.
I love film breakdowns.
Me too.
I love them, especially old ones as well. When they go into you're totally forgotten about, you watched 10 years ago and they break it all down. I love that. KW says the best accents in the US are New York Mafia and the Deep South drawl.
Yeah,
I like those, and I do like the Boston, and I do like the Baltimore.
I love a Baltimore. Yeah. I love a Baltimore accent from The Wire. I really like New Orleans accents as well, like the way they say baby.
Oh, I like it because they sound kind of
Creole.
Yeah. I love that.
Oh, the really that God. Oh, who has that? What's the character in? Oh God, I can't remember. It's a Marvel something. I think it's a Marvel character or a DC character. He speaks it, and I think he's from New Orleans.
From New Orleans, yeah.
There's a name for it. I can't remember what it is.
It's almost like American strokes and African. All of it. I just love that.
Yeah. It's the blend, isn't it?
Yes. It's amazing.
All right then.
It's Gambit. Okay. All right. So if we have no more people contributing to our coffers, you can also contribute afterwards as well. If you want. Hey, Christian Jane. I actually didn't see your name there before. Hello.
Hi. Yeah, Nola.
Matthew McConaughey. I used to fancy him when I was younger.
I think everyone fancied Matthew.
He had that kind of white man totty thing.
He was the acceptable white guy, wasn't he?
Yeah. Like Cole de Chanel.
Cole de Chanel. Now, there's a blast from the past. Everybody loved Cole de Chanel.
But yes, guys. All right. Enjoy your Sundays. Bardi, you never told us what you cooked, but thank you for your donation. Thank you. Who else gave us money? Thank you, Stephanie Morgan. We love you.
Thank you. Yes, Strike 22. Sunset Beach. Thank you, Christian. I see you.
Christian said, I love your blonde braids, Nano.
Thank you.
She's come over to the blonde side.
But they're coming off soon. As soon as I get my bob wig in, they're off.
Is it blonde?
No,
you said you're doing blonde for the summer.
I know, but now I want to relax my hair again. So if I can not relax my hair and I get with the wig, then I'll be okay.
Okay, cool. Bardi's cooking barbecue fried chicken with rice and mac and cheese. I have a few friends over at 6. Where was our invite, Bard?
Again? Can you invite us down? Like we will come and be your friends.
We will come. We got some special shit gonna come up for you lot anyway this year.
Bardi, feel good. That's great. Started earlier, which I'm usually late. Feels great being on time. It does feeling, isn't it, Bardi?
Oh, here we go. She's trying to tell us.
She just needs to shut up, like basically. Like, just be quiet. You know, just be quiet, man. You're in a Gemini sandwich, just like
I know, but I'm a very tolerant, on-time person. I
mean, you're not tolerant because if you were tolerant, you'd be going on about it.
You want me to be quiet?
Yeah.
Happiness making fufu and palm nut soup. I beg. Also, I
want everything.
Bring me some.
I want to be fed today.
No, what we got to do. We have to do a get together where people bring a dish.
Yes.
And the aunties are gonna just eat what you bring.
We can judge.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
That might cause mutiny. We have to silent judge.
I just want to eat. Just bring your dish and
no, but there'll be a winner because there has to be a prize.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in fact, you've heard it here first on News and Nonsense. This year we are going to do something where you can bring your dish to us. We'll put it on in an event somewhere, and you'll bring your dish to us, and we will eat it, and we will feast amongst each other, and we will judge.
I'd like Yes. Okay. But some of y'all can't go strike. I mean, as much as we love you as our supporters, we need to know. So there's got to be some rules in this place.
We want the chefs in the house. Like, not,
Yes.
I'm just gonna try.
And what you need to do, in fact, what you need to do is you need to submit a video of you cooking.
Yeah.
It starts to get technical, isn't it? As you start to think about it, it starts to get quite techie.
No, it's fine. It's fine. You submit a video of you cooking first, yeah, so we can judge your skills. And then based off of the video, then you are entered into the competition or not. It's simple.
And we need to know like whose kitchen is kitchening and who's, you know what I mean?
Who washes their meat?
Yeah. Who washes their meat?
Everybody in here washes their meat.
All the meats.
We want it all
of the meats.
Yeah. We want it all documented, and then we'll be ready to eat.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll do some, and we definitely will have a live show again soon, Barney.
We will.
We will.
Thank you, Barney. You hear it, you see it. We need to know certain things before that thing can run. Maybe it's just an open barbecue, bringing your own dish, and maybe we can choose who we want to pick out of. Let's keep it like that, nice and light.
Ooh.
Rice
and making.
Oh, I love fritters.
I've not done codfish fritters, saltfish fritters for the longest time. I haven't saltfish fritters. I've not done it for ages.
I think the last time I actually had saltfish fritters, it may have been Carnival.
Yeah.
I may have been out and about in Carnival and picked some up, like, yeah, but that's made me really think, I want to make some.
I'm going to make them. I haven't made them for such a long time.
What I'm going to do is have some nice chicken and pea soup.
My mum's
and I'm going to lay down because I was really jealous. I thought it was going to be really sunny, but it's quite cloudy and it feels a bit
it's not all that today.
No, this weekend, because we're going to have the thunderstorms. Like the pallet. And then next week is supposed to be good again.
Okay.
This is not how it goes for June. So I am literally like, this is amazing.
It is. And for you to say that it's on.
I'm on it. But yeah, I'm glad today match. I was like, I'm going to need to go outside. I'm quite glad. I'm going to lay my flat back down.
Your back's flat,
back not flat. My back flat.
Even when you lay down,
she's still like that.
Go flat, or is there an arch?
She don't go, or her no. She don't go flat.
There's an arch. There's a part of your back that never touched the surface.
She would have to have her legs in the air for her back to go flat.
The thing is, what's jokes? When people talk about my big bum, there is actually, I saw a woman yesterday. I even saw a woman yesterday. Her bum was a shell. Her bum is not even big.
Oh, a quail.
No, have you not seen my mum's old lodger?
No.
Oh, her bum.
That's what I'm saying.
When they say Ghanaian batty, like literally a shelf. Like, like you could put cups on her bum.
My bum's not a cup bum. My bum's not a cup bum.
Your bum is a bum, but she has
it big.
Yeah, like she would leave somewhere and people would be like,
what? Yeah.
It left it. She's there.
We got a friend like that.
Is a whole other person. A literal
yeah.
Like
that. In it, like we got a friend like that. But
the thing is, Abner, her name was Abner as well.
Oh yeah. So yes.
Yes.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. So, when I'm like, my bum's
your bum's big, bro.
Your bum is. You do have a bum there.
Your bum is big.
And for a UK, you have a bum. Like
she's a big batty. I like that. Your back's never touched the surface.
It hasn't, man.
Yes,
you said shout out to all my shelf sisters.
We are here. I know I got my words. I meant to say back flat.
When you said my flat back, it's like, why are you lying?
I know. Okay, I take it back, man. I had to, CKW. I always wanted more breast. I wanted more breast. But yeah, I didn't.
I told you I will deposit as long as you pay for the surgery. You can have some of my fat.
Breast transplant.
Yeah, over any time. I mean, who wants a belly? I've got a belly to give. If anybody.
I was so bloated in Barbados. My belly's going back down now. I'm like, yo. I was so bloated.
Yeah.
Oh, good. All right,
guys. Peace out.
8 town down.
Bye.
Bye now.